Welcome to the Flixters, the place where two movie nerds bring you all the movie reviews and TV reviews you can ever want in your whole lifetime. That's correct. You can download our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Castbox, and Anchor. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. See you there.
Deval, I noticed you went all Ray Winston there.
Did I? Twitter. Go on Twitter.
Go on Twitter, get in there. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I'm all right. It's been okay.
You know,
I don't know why I'm laughing, you know.
Listen, it's just, we had like a whole, like, even before this whole kind of episode started, we've just been laughing for the last 25 minutes, haven't we?
Laughing about what, I wonder? No, don't expose it.
Nah, we won't. That's for another podcast.
Yeah, a whole other podcast.
Whole new podcast. You know what? It's really great to see you.
Good to see you as well, yeah.
What you been up to? What you been in? Up to?
I've been up to this, but, up to that, keeping above the law.
Yeah, okay. As long as it's all legal, that's fine.
Most of it's legal, yeah.
Hey, listen, you know what? Before we start the show, I just want to say I caught up with 22nd July.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah. So that was one thing that I kind of caught up with. Also, Ozark, I finished.
You finished?
I finished Ozark.
All right.
And...
Good.
Great show, right?
Yep.
Great show.
Yep.
And I started watching Better Call Saul.
Do you know what? That is something that I started watching, I think, one episode. And I stopped for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 seasons now, isn't it?
But this is the last one. I think there's only ever going to be one more season.
Okay. Yeah, I need to watch it because I know it's going to be good.
Definitely.
Oh, man.
But anyway, look, we'll speak about that later on. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for downloading another episode. And we are on episode 22. 22.
Damn.
22. Yes.
Damn, 22.
22, mate.
Wow.
It's a milestone for us, right?
It sure is. Still going strong, man.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait to do another 22.
2 plus 2. How's it go again? 2 plus 2, 22. No, 2 plus 4, 44. I forgot how the song goes.
You're the singer of us. Right. Okay. So, sorry. Thank you for downloading another episode of the show.
Yes.
You can find us on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, you name it. We're all of it.
Follow, like, subscribe, be a part of the movement.
Be a part of the movement because we are going to tell you about who's been following us.
It's the shout outs.
This is the shout out. So tell us, Deval, go for it.
Okay, so the first shout out is Sophie, who listens to the show. And she shouted out some comments on Instagram about some of the likes that we have been putting out. The posts that we've been putting out. So I think she liked one of the posts to do with our last show and the films that obviously we were discussing and some of the hidden gems. Because a lot of people, hidden gems is a big thing for them because it brings out a lot of films that they just either don't know or forgot existed. Yeah. So she really liked that and she made a few comments saying, thanks guys, gonna give this a watch. So shout out to Sophie. Sophie's actually got her niece on X Factor, she said.
Wow.
Yeah, so her niece is on X Factor and is
currently
in the live shows.
Oh, that's wicked.
So we need to make sure that we are
gonna shout out for
we're gonna definitely shout out for Sophie's niece, who is on the X Factor live shows, and I think she's going to go really far.
I hope so.
Do you want to know what they're called?
Yeah, please.
Do you really want to know what they're called?
Yes.
Okay, so her niece is a really good. Her niece is a really good singer, and so her name is A-Star.
A-Star. Wow.
Yeah, A-Star. So Sophie, A-Star. Everyone, if you can vote, get on there, vote for A-Star and X Factor. Make it happen.
Make it happen, Flixters. Go out there and vote right now. Thanks a lot for that.
That's all right. Next one goes out to Alyssa Mackay.
Now tell everyone about Alyssa Mackay.
So as people may have guessed by now, the Flixters, we are starting to get some sort of traction and get movement within the the entertainment industry. As we like to review different films and TV shows, some of the actors actually reach out to us. They appreciate our reviews and are giving them more exposure. So Alyssa Mackay actually played the role, quite a small role, but still a good role within a film that we reviewed last week or week before, Leave No Trace. Yep. It was one of the hidden gems.
Starring Ben Foster.
Starring Ben Foster, yeah. So Alyssa Mackay was in the film, and she shouted us out saying, "Thanks, guys, for the shout," and vice versa. So
I tell you what, man,
every week now, every
week we are getting love.
The love, the feelers.
We're putting the feelers out there, but but the big feeler is what we're still waiting for. Is the big one?
Who? The Rock.
The Rock. We're gonna work. It's gonna happen.
When The Rock happens, we know we've made it.
The universe will respond. So no, big shout out. Thanks, Alyssa, for kind of taking note of us.
Yeah, exactly. Next shout out goes to Abby. Abby, a long time listener, long time collaborator. Actually, I go way back with Abby. We've done lots of short films in the past and lots of different projects. So I've known Abby for a very long time. But he listens to the show. When we first started doing the show, he gave me feedback and so on, which was which I appreciated a lot. And hopefully, we've put some of that feedback into the show. And so he was all over Halloween, all over the. We put some posts out about Halloween, the movie, obviously that we're going to review later. And he was talking about, he's on Halloween. On the same day, he's going to watch Daredevil. On the same day, he's going to watch Making a Murderer Season 2. He's all over it.
Exactly.
So Abby is a serious movie and TV cat.
Yes.
So big shout out to Abby.
Thanks, Abby. Also, I just got to quickly mention this one. Obviously you got Netflix, you've got the Disney streaming service, and you got also Amazon.
Who are they?
Amazon.
Exactly. Give me some.
They're only kind of probably the second biggest player in the whole streaming service, right?
That.
So a week ago, I put up a little post about The Man in the High Castle. So uploaded this picture of brilliant poster, and we got a lot of hits on this on Instagram.
Yeah.
To the point where Amazon Prime.
What you say?
Amazon Prime.
What you say?
Amazon Prime.
Damn.
They liked it. They liked the post as well. Oh. And to me, it just feels like as if, you know what, we're doing them a service.
Yeah.
So maybe we should get a cut out of something, right?
Maybe we should. Maybe like a free subscription. That wouldn't go amiss, because at least we could watch the shows and review stuff on their platform. Actually, do you know what, Amazon, if you're listening, that's not a lot to ask for.
What?
$7.99 a month?
Exactly.
Come on, Amazon.
Come on. 80 quid a year, whatever it is.
Come on, Amazon.
Come on, you can do that.
Come on.
So big shout out to Amazon for doing that as well.
Yep,
I thought that was really great.
It is actually.
All right. So now let's move on to the movie news. Now listen, this list is really big. And the main news that I want to kind of start off with, I put it at the bottom, but I'm going to push this right back up.
It's going up top.
It's going up the top. I've got to just say this.
Flixters, this never happens.
Exactly.
So for this to happen, it's something big.
I just got to say one thing, right? All right. Last week we found out that Iron Fist.
Iron Fist, yeah.
Iron Fist was cancelled.
Yeah.
And you and I, we discussed it, and we were like, shit, what's going to happen? Colleen Wing, and where is this story going to go? So fine. All right. Now, we've just realised that Marvel's and Netflix's Luke Cage Season 3 has been cancelled.
What?
And you know what? This is shocking.
Man.
It's kind of sad. It's one of those things, right? What the fuck are they doing? Are they now cancelling the show so they can put onto their own streaming service? What does this mean for Jessica Jones? Is that going to get cancelled? We know that Daredevil Season 3 is out, and the reviews of that have been kind of pretty, high, really good. So what's going to happen? What do you think?
Okay, so when I first heard this, I thought, oh, damn, because I do like Luke Cage.
Yeah.
But I know Luke Cage and Iron Fist, a lot of mixed feelings and a lot of mixed reviews. Some people, it will literally split the room. Half the room will say, yeah, it's good. Yeah. Half the room will say, nah, it's rubbish. Mm-hmm. Me, myself, I liked Season 1. I like Season 2. For me, Luke Cage is not your typical modern TV show, Netflix TV show, whatever you want to call it. It draws a lot of the sort of old school 70s blaxploitation themes, the music, the dialogue. So some people that don't understand that might think, what they're talking about, jive, turkey, or why does the music sound so sort of old? There's a reason for it. It's not there for just, for an accident.
They didn't just shove
it
in
theme.
there.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of people, some of the things that they don't like about the show, I think could be explained by the way the show is presenting itself. So that's that. But to answer your question, when I first saw it, I was shocked and I was a bit disappointed, but now I'm thinking, do you know what? This is a strategy. I don't think these shows are going and being scrapped for good. Or I hope so anyway. Yeah. I reckon that they're all being scrapped from Netflix, but they will exist in a different plane, a different platform.
Yeah.
Which is going to be Disney's new platform, however it's going to be. Presented. Is Hulu part of Disney?
Possibly.
I don't know, but either way, I think these shows are not going to die because they're good shows, I reckon.
And it just kind of like, when I think back, they've announced a Loki thing on the streaming service, Scarlet Witch, and Iron Fist.
It's all going to exist, man. It's all going to exist. I'm not worried anymore.
Yeah.
Netflix have lost it, and I even thought this may happen because we know Disney's gearing up for a big platform,
and they're going to be competitors.
Yeah, DC Online, DC Universe Online. So. That
I think now the battle lines have been drawn. I think Daredevil is going to be, Daredevil and Jessica Jones might be kind of like the last.
I
Marvel.
reckon Daredevil season 4 you'll see soon after it's saying it's scrapped as well.
Yeah,
but when that happens, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
You see Daredevil scrapped, okay, forget it. But just that's on not that, happen.
You're right about Iron Fist I liked Iron Fist season 2 much better than season 1.
Yeah.
And there were loads of things in Luke Cage season 2 which I thought were brilliant. Let's expand on this, and I wanted to find out what happens to kind of Power Man after he's basically got control of Harlem now.
Yeah.
He controls Harlem.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to find out what happens?
That's exciting. Yeah, of course.
Okay, well,
yeah.
So a bit pissed off, but like you said, we're going to probably end up seeing him again somewhere. All right, so let's run through these. So tell us about Game of Thrones, Richard Marsden.
Yeah, Richard Marsden, otherwise known as Robb Stark, King of the North. King of the North. It's otherwise known as him. So people are eyeing him for the next James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Scot. I didn't realize he's Scottish at heart.
Yeah.
Or by DNA, whichever way you want to call it. But I think his most recent role as the bodyguard on BBC has shown people a different side of him.
Definitely.
And it's sort of made him look more, I guess, accessible in this, sort of suit and tie, professional kind of,
Yeah. And I'm just going to say to you, I'm so glad you said accessible, because there was a film that I watched about 5 minutes of on Netflix. It's called Ibiza.
And he's in it?
He's in it.
Okay.
Deval, it is fucking terrible.
Is it? Okay.
And he's in it, right? And I thought, this might be pretty good. He's going to probably choose a good role. It's so bad. And then I gave The Bodyguard like a chance, and you know what? I really enjoyed it. It's only a 6-episode thing, and I can really see he's got great acting chops. So given the right role, and obviously James Bond is a big role, why not?
Yeah. The Bodyguard was a massive.
Huge
I think the last episode was viewed by 11 million people in the UK.
That's massive. And it's going to be on Netflix.
Is it?
Netflix have bought the rights to it.
So I reckon he could be a good one. And obviously Tom Hiddleston's been mentioned about it.
Yeah, Henry Cavill. He's actually a good one for it as well. But they might want someone a bit younger, perhaps, because of a bit of span longevity. So, and also sometimes someone who isn't a massive actor, because then they can mold themselves into James Bond. Yeah.
And he could be the one. You never know.
Could be. You never know. You never know. All right. So, this is big news. Big Marvel news here.
Yep. Far From Home has officially wrapped.
Yep.
Yeah. So the principal photography has officially wrapped. I'm pretty sure they'll be doing some pickup, extra shots and reshoots at some point, possibly. Who knows? But it's wrapped, and there was a video of that online somewhere. Of Tom Holland saying it's all finished and. Like, well done and blah, blah, blah. There was a scene actually of Tom Holland and Zendaya. Who plays MJ. And they're like in New York, and he's
holding her.
He's holding her, yeah. And then they sort of whiz up into the sky. I guess they'll do special effects afterwards, but he's sort of web slinging her away, and they're talking and stuff like that. So yeah, it looks good. I mean, Zendaya and him, they kind of, they look kind of clunky together in a sort of young teenage way, so it matches. But he's also got a new kit, new kit which you sort of put on there as well. So what's the new kit like? What's it?
Well, it's got, right. The last time that we saw
new suit.
So the last time we saw Spider-Man was in Avengers: Infinity War, and Tony Stark gave him this like the battle suit. Exactly, his battle suit really, and that was mad, like metal and with the legs coming out. Everything. So, and we know now that this story is this is taking place after that. So maybe he doesn't have the tech anymore, and he's had to kind of make do with it. But it's just kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely not the metal suit.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of back to that synthetic type.
Yeah.
You know, I think the eyes are a bit bigger as well
Yeah,
now.
there's a lot more outlining around
Yeah.
it, around the spider symbol and stuff like that. There's like a black outlining, and I think it goes back to there's a version of Spider-Man from the comics that has one of these suits.
Right.
Spider-Man, I mean, all the heroes, especially the Iron Man, they've got like 1,000 suits.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes in the movies they try and sort of replicate which the suit they have in the movies to a version in the comics.
In the comics, yeah.
we've had a few so far, and I think it's going to continue. But the suit looks good, basically.
Yeah.
We're not sure what kind of tech it's going to have, but
It's going to be great.
He's going to be doing all right.
Exactly. I think so. All right. So, I mean, everyone's favorite. Come on now. Who hasn't seen Tom and Jerry?
I haven't. I'm joking. I used to love Tom and Jerry, but
man.
the original non-speaking Thomas
Exactly.
kind of Tom and Jerry.
Totally. So tell us about Tom and Jerry live action.
Yeah, man. Tom and Jerry. So it's going to be a live action stroke hybrid, a bit like Space Jam,
Right,
kind of,
okay.
vibe. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a live action hybrid movie coming out, and it's going to supposedly be directed by Ride Along director. So I guess maybe Kevin Hart could be Kevin Hart could be Jerry,
Yeah, Jerry, yeah.
and Ice Cube could be Tom. Maybe that can work, but I think Ice Cube would be more like a dog version.
He'll
of
be
the cat.
exactly, more aggressive. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's literally. I mean, we've spoken about old school classics. So Sonic the Hedgehog is coming out. Obviously, they've done Transformers and He-Man's been done. A lot of these animations from back in the day are popping up.
They are, man.
So this is not. It's not the end. I think we'll see more things like this. Tom and Jerry is been out from, is it Hanna-Barbera?
Hanna-Barbera,
yeah,
yeah.
like for years. MGM or something as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? I like Tom and Jerry. I think I know I should like this, but I know it's going to ruin my Tom and Jerry memory, because Tom and Jerry for me is just unique. Little
Exactly.
10-15 minute cartoons where they don't speak. Sometimes the supporting people speak.
Yeah.
Remember an episode of Tom and Jerry where Jerry had his Mexican cousin come from Mexico, and he
With
used to
the sombrero.
sing. Yeah, he used to sing. So he'll speak and he'll communicate with Jerry, but Jerry can't speak back. But
No.
somehow they'll still communicate.
Yeah.
And he was so chilled out, didn't really bother about the cat, Tom too much. But somehow Jerry's trying to protect him and stuff, and it's just mad.
It's
but
crazy.
Yeah, that cartoon to me is special.
It's the cartoon that keeps on giving, man.
Yeah.
It's just like non-stop.
I love
innit?
it.
It's brilliant.
And the only time they can speak is when Tom gets hit by something and he screams.
He goes,
Yeah, that massive scream. Obviously,
Yeah.
and the lady whose face we never see.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously,
The
black lady
yeah.
with the sort of the maid.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I hope they don't do it in this though.
I hope
If they
they
do
don't.
that in this, that's a disrespect.
That will be disrespect. Right, okay, what else? Oh, tell us about this Sopranos. Now,
sequel.
Sopranos, I was a huge fan of Sopranos.
know
Watched this back in the day.
I never.
Duvaldo.
I know, you're gonna kick me off.
Seriously,
now, innit?
man, you got to watch it.
I never watched it.
But you know what? It's one of those things where I don't expect you just to kind of go in and you're going to watch it all like 5-6 seasons or whatever it was. No, it's a slow burner.
I like
But-
slow burners though.
But bro, every single episode is going to give you something, and you're going to be like, "Oh shit, this is brilliant." James Gandolfini, man, he obviously sadly passed away.
Yeah.
But tell us about the news.
Yeah, so what I've heard so far is that it's called the Many Saints of Newark. Newark's a borough is it New Jersey or is it New York?
So there's Newark, which is part the state of New York,
Yeah.
and then Newark is in New York.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know. Okay, so basically the Many Saints of Newark. So it's going to fill in a lot of gaps that the Sopranos wasn't able to do.
Right.
So it's gonna, that's basically what's going to do. And it's meant to be out in 2020 or late 2019,
Yeah.
which means it's well underway with filming and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it'll be interesting, and this could bring a lot of people back into the
I think
Sopranos
so.
world, because Sopranos, from the way you described it, and I know other people described it, it's a special type of show. How many seasons was it? Was it 5 or something, or 6 or 7?
And the thing is, the reason why it was also special and a bit controversial is of the way it ended.
Oh, don't tell me then.
No,
'cause
no,
I might watch it.
No, I'm not going to tell you the way. But people, even to this day,
Serious?
they are writing articles about what David Chase, the creator of Sopranos, what he did and how he. It was always a question of, right, how was this thing going to end? And he said, right, he gave everyone notice, right, this is going to be the final season, and people out there aren't going to possibly like the way that this thing ends, but I went back to watch just the final last 10 minutes, and it's brilliant, man. So many layers.
Wow.
So many layers. So if you can get a chance just to watch that one. And
Damn, okay.
All right.
Affleck, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about this.
I've been hearing some DC movies, anyway, DC TV, DC animation is good. They've got it on lock. DC movies,
what's going
I don't
on?
know. Yeah, one day it's this, one day it's that.
Yeah.
But Affleck was supposed to be Batman and directed, Matt Reeves, and you don't know, now that they're casting for a new Batman. Basically, now Affleck is gone.
Right, he's left DC now.
Yeah, the word is that he's left DC. He's no longer attached to that project, and The Flash, which was meant to be out in 2020.
Man, I was so looking forward to that.
To 20, and I mean, The Flash. You'd think a name like The Flash, it'll be coming sooner.
Yeah.
But
they are taking long.
It's a true flashback because it's been pushed back to 2021 now.
That's crazy.
So,
and that, to me, that stinks of something like, obviously something rotten in DC where they can't get the story right. They can't get the kind of the shit that's going on behind the scenes. They aren't getting that. And you know what, man? The Flash is one of the reasons why I've why I fell in love with DC Comics, and it's just like I love that character, Barry Allen,
Jay Garrick,
with the
Wally
older,
West.
Exactly. So much shit, and like I'm a big fan of the Flash on the CW. On the small
that's
screen.
a good one. We've got Grant Gustin.
Yeah, Grant
really
Gustin.
good one. Yeah,
really good. Yeah,
and Cisco. I like Cisco.
Cisco's wicked, man. Cisco wicked.
Like Cisco, and obviously his missus. Damn, I forgot her name now.
I've forgotten.
Yeah, what's in the name?
Yeah.
But
she's wicked.
Iris West.
Iris West, and then she becomes the Flash as well, in the comic, in the show as well. So
basically on DC, I mean, obviously they're very disorganized and so on, but I'm going to read out a few DC movies. I put in here DC or not to DC because we just don't know with DC.
Exactly.
They say they're going to do one thing.
So tell us about the films that they said.
Yeah, so obviously The Batman is meant to be coming out.
Yeah.
Flash movie is supposed to be coming out. Cyborg, that's supposed to be coming out in 2020.
Yeah.
Who knows now? Because it's meant to be like a Cyborg and Flash type vibe, a bit like Heroes for Hire, but DC version.
Yeah.
Because there's meant to be a lot more collaboration now with DC rather than maybe standalone films. So who knows? Green Lantern Corps, that's still meant to be happening. Jeff Johns is supposed to be on the script to that one.
I hope that happens.
I hope so too, because obviously they've got some work to do with that one, because the first one was panned, it still is.
Yeah.
People still remember it and they still cuss it to this day.
Yeah, no, totally.
So that's that one. The Flash, obviously we mentioned. Supergirl.
Yep.
And Supergirl actually is something that's meant to be happening. 2021, I believe, or 2022, one of them.
Sure.
So that's meant to be happening. Not sure who this new Supergirl will be yet, but we'll find out. Black Hawk, another sort of, it's just another person basically in DC.
Yeah.
I don't know who Black Hawk is. Anyway, next one. Batgirl, Joss Whedon is meant to be doing that one, writing, directing this one.
What's this thing about these guys going over to DC now?
Because I think Joss Whedon done obviously the first Avengers, which to me is one of the best Marvel films still. It's in my top 5, solid in my top 5.
Yeah, it's good.
And he also done Avengers Age of Ultron Part 2. And then from that, there was a bit of friction between him and the studio.
Right? Yeah.
Because there was a version that he wanted out and a version that they wanted out, and the studio always wins.
Yeah.
So after that, he sort of distanced himself a bit from Marvel, and now is on DC to do Batgirl. But for him, because remember, he was first involved in Buffy.
That's absolutely
Buffy
right.
the Vampire. Am I correct? Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, isn't it?
He's behind that.
He likes that type of strong female kind of character who can kick ass, and so I think Batgirl for him is a good project that he can really get his teeth into. He's got experience in making those characters believable and work.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good fit for him. Obviously, Suicide Squad 2, which we
spoke
mentioned
about
last week, with what's his name again? Guardians 2. Gunn. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So James Gunn. That's got to happen. Time-wise, I mean, it could be earlier now. Now he's on it. Maybe things will start rolling.
Yeah.
We could be looking at a 2021.
Sure.
That's in 2 years, probably 2022 actually.
Yeah.
And then the Batman. Who knows who's going to be the Batman?
They still got to work that out yet.
Exactly. New Gods, we mentioned last week, Ava DuVernay is writing the script for New Gods, who New Gods is a bit like how the Celestials are in Marvel.
Right.
So New Gods, basically, Jack Kirby, he's not alive at the moment.
Yeah.
At the moment, so
Sorry.
he's no longer with us.
No longer,
Like he's going to come back, at the moment. Oh, sorry, 5 minutes.
Oh, where did you go?
Are you back? So Jack Kirby, basically Marvel, back in the day, some of the two heavyweights of Marvel back in the day, Jack Kirby, Stan Lee. Well, there's more than two heavyweights. We had Steve Ditko, some of those old school cats.
Sure.
Jack Kirby was an old school cat. He was big. He co-created a lot of
the characters.
A lot of the characters, a lot of them. And he was involved in doing the Celestials and like, the Titans and all sort of that sort of realm of people. He had beef with Marvel. He left Marvel to go and join DC,
right?
And the New Gods. So the New Gods is a bit like how the Celestials are, but in a DC version.
In a DC kind of way.
So they're very powerful. They're very into this. They're extraterrestrial. They're space bound. They're some next
they're
level.
Watchers, they know what's going on.
Exactly, some next level people. A bit like how like dark side level people kind of thing. Apocalypse and all that kind of stuff. So Ava, what's her name? Ava DuVernay is on that. She obviously done the film,
documentary.
Yeah, done 13th Amendment. She done and she done the Disney film that came out, Wrinkle in Time. So she's got credibility in the industry. Nightwing, who's obviously Batman's wingman.
Yeah, and
he was his wingman,
and we're seeing him on screen
on
right
Titans,
now.
exactly.
Yeah, on
so Dick Grayson. So that's meant to be happening as well. Black Adam,
which we spoke about as well
a while ago. So that's The Rock. That is happening.
Yeah.
When it's happening, we don't know. So Black Adam is basically Shazam's arch nemesis. They're both like sort of. I think Black Adam is tied to Egyptian mythology.
Right.
I believe so. But Black Adam is a deep cat. He's powerful, like Shazam, a bit like Superman, can fly.
Yeah.
He's a bit of an anti-hero. So it would be interesting to see The Rock. I think The Rock as Black Adam he literally looks like him.
So the size,
literally, he doesn't need any padding for his suit.
No.
The Rock, if that happens, that's going to be a film.
Yeah.
Know it. Yeah.
Wicked.
And then Jared's Joker. So there's going to be so many Jokers running around.
Yeah, there's Joaquin's one.
Exactly.
There's Jared's one. And the whole thing with the Joaquin Phoenix one that exists outside of all this kind of the films that we've just mentioned now, and it's almost like as if Joaquin Phoenix wanted to do this so that he could show a different type of Joker. Oh yeah, that was one of his stipulations. He didn't want to be linked to something that's going to be like 4 or 5 movie contract deal and stuff like that. And if we go back to the Jared Leto one from Suicide Squad, I mean, his portrayal was crazy. It was mad. And I think we weren't given enough. And I think there was a lot of kind of stuff that was cut out. And I think he got pissed off with that. And also the Joker is a role that is really... How do you get your mind around that? Yeah, and people, it's a role, not anyone can be Superman, not anyone can be the Batman, but the Joker is a role that people really hold in high regard. Yes. The Joker is seen as one of the most, the pinnacle of comic book villain. Yeah. The Joker is up there. Yeah. So if you're going to play the Joker, you got to bring your A game. You got to be either the best one or you'll be forgettable. Yeah. So people talk about the best Jokers as being Heath Ledger. Yeah. Jack Nicholson. Mark Hamill. From Batman, from the animation. Some people hold that one as the best one, Brilliant. Some people hold that one as the best Joker because they read that one there was just, it defined, even though it was the animation, he smashed it. Yeah. So the Joker's a hard act to follow. Okay, Deathstroke. We saw a glimpse of Deathstroke at the end of Justice League. Yeah, in the Justice League. So it was when Lex Luthor was talking about having his own team. Yeah. So Deathstroke he's gangster. He's like one of Batman's arch nemesis. Lobo. We spoke about Lobo a while ago. Lobo is actually going to be coming to Krypton, the TV show. Oh right. There's a TV show called Krypton, and it's a prequel to Superman, actually, before Superman was born and stuff like that. So
He's coming to that, but they're also going to make a film of him.
But having said that, Superman does exist within the CW universe because
Supergirl,
because within the whole Supergirl, there's Superman as well.
Yeah. So, and I think he even may get his own show or be more heavily involved in it. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
But Lobo's he's a crazy cat. He's a bit like Wolverine and Cable mixed together. He's a bit mad. He's got healing factor. He's a crazy one. But so he may get his own film as well. And then we've got Superman that I just don't know.
And Henry Cavill turned around and just
what's going on.
Like he doesn't want to do it no more, and like it's all up in the air. So
I literally reeled off a whole list of possibilities here, and I think everyone listening see them as that possibilities.
Yeah.
Unless you see it like with a date. So obviously we didn't mention Birds of Prey. We didn't mention Wonder Woman. We didn't mention Shazam. That's all happening. We've seen trailers. We've got dates on those. Believe those. All these here, pinch of salt, mate. I've got a lot of salt around me at the moment. There's a lot of salt around me with all these pinches of salt because this is all just, empty promises.
Yeah. But I think kind of like out of the lot though, we will see, I think definitely we'll see Suicide Squad.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I think that one's going to be definite because they made a whole big announcement. James Gunn going over, and I think he's got something to prove as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see that one.
Yeah.
So that'd be good. All right. Tell us about Cyclops and X-Men.
Cyclops. Yeah. So basically, Cyclops has been one of those characters. I mean, Cyclops, he's a safe bet type thing. He's not been an edgy character. We've liked Wolverine.
Too goody two shoes.
Yeah, we've liked Wolverine more. We've liked other people more within the X-Men sort of movie franchise. And Cyclops has been like a prefect or like a hall monitor. Hey, stop running in the hall. Where's your hall pass? Sort of thing,
And there's always been that friction in the films between Wolverine and
which
Cyclops.
Stems from the comics as well because they're both like the same girl. But so the word is that Cyclops is going to be a bit more edgy, a bit more hardcore.
That'd be good to see.
And the actor that's playing him is obviously they're all younger cast, and I think we may get a bit more personality, a bit more edge from him, which I think will lend more to the character and make it a bit more interesting than the normal preppy. Maybe in the future he may be preppy, but I think it'd be good to show him because he's a teenager. What teenagers like, sharp and polished off. Teenagers are meant to be rebellious,
hormonal,
and so on.
like his mouthy.
Exactly. So I think it's good if they show that.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see if his powers will be like fully manifested, or they'll still be, I don't know, because his powers, what he can do with a laser. Do you know where that comes from? Do you know what it is, like physically?
No, tell me about it.
According to the comics, his laser is deep. He doesn't just shoot lasers out of his eyes.
What is it? Tell me.
His eyes are a gateway to another dimension.
Oh my God.
So basically there's this dimension where it's just like massive energy. Basically his eyes are like gateways to like a supernova or some sort of place where energy is just like kind of thing,
I love that.
So his eyes basically are that gateway. So he hasn't got the power of lasers. He's just got two gateways in his optic cavities. As he opens it, he lets this power out. And that's it. So the power's always constantly there. He just lets it out. So he's a gateway to another dimension, basically, through his eyes.
Hell.
That's where the power comes from. And if he really knew how to manifest that power, he'll be on another level.
Yeah.
But he's already powerful enough. But
yeah, exactly.
It's just, that's where his powers come from. It's
wicked.
not just like lasers, like just random lasers.
I love the backstories.
And that's also why his powers are basically infinite. He doesn't get tired from shooting lasers. He closes his eyes because he has to stop it. But if he kept his eyes open, it would just be forever. He'd just be there going forever.
And just kind of recap, Cable is Scott Summers and what's the connection?
So Cable is their future is Scott's future dad.
Wow.
I believe, yeah. So, but Cable in the future, basically, Jean Grey, I believe she dies somehow, and Scott is like mortified by it.
And then he hooks up with someone else who looks like
they create a clone called Madeline Pryor, who's like a Jean Grey, long grain rice, American long grain rice. I prefer basmati, but
me too.
So Jean Grey dies, and Scott Summers creates Madeline Pryor, who's like a Jean Grey clone.
Yeah.
They have a child,
Kid
which then becomes Cable.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's the connection between Cable and Scott Summers.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
so that's that. It's mad.
Okay,
It's
that's
a
mad.
madness.
Crazy. It's wicked. I love the backstories. All right, tell us about now Captain
Marvel.
Marvel.
This one sounds interesting. This one sounds interesting. So Captain Marvel, we've seen the trailer.
Yeah.
In the trailer, it's like she's in space. She's on Earth, and
she's kind of like in the army, not in the Navy.
in the Air Force.
Air Force.
In the Air Force, yeah. So basically, the sort of word is that her origin story is that she's going to be half Kree. So a bit like how Aquaman is. Like basically, is it her mum or dad? I'm thinking it's her dad. Either way, basically, one of her parents is Kree.
Right.
Because years ago, Kree used to experiment on Earth.
Yeah.
With they created the Inhumans basically.
Okay.
With a Terrigen Mist, which is going off tangent, but basically Kree have had a history on Earth, and the news is that one of her parents is Kree, came to Earth, knocked boots with a human, made Carol Danvers Captain Marvel, and then she was sent out to space and lived in space and lived as a Kree,
right,
basically. And something happened. She got sent back down to Earth, lost her memory. That's why in the trailer she says, "I'm sure I had a life here before."
It all looks familiar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's also where her powers will allow her to, I guess, manifest things that humans can't normally, have.
Yeah.
I think basically something goes wrong in the film, which it looks like it gives her powers, but I think this is going to unlock her powers.
Right.
I think her powers are innate. I think she's got powers.
She's had them, but it's because she doesn't know.
Exactly. And this thing unlocks her powers and magnifies it. So she can then go binary.
Yeah.
And that's when she just flips out and she can just like...
And she starts punching over.
Yeah, she can just like mash up the Hulk and everyone.
Yeah.
So I think that's her sort of backstory. So it's a bit like how... Arthur Curry is in Aquaman. He's half human, half alien.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the sort of, I guess we'll find out in March when it comes out. So
very, very soon.
Yeah.
And keeping it with Marvel.
Yeah.
Tell us about Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, aka Hank Pym.
Yeah.
So he's revealed in an interview that the quantum realm is going to be a key factor in Avengers 4. And we kind of said this from a while ago. We kind of believed that, from the minute Janet Van Dyne said to Ant-Man at the end credits, "Stay away from the time portals, otherwise if you get lost in them, we'll never find you." From when she said that, I knew that he was going to get... I knew he was going to go into time portals.
Yeah.
And I knew time via that will be a big factor in Avengers 4.
Avengers 4, yeah.
They need time travel to get back and fix shit up.
Yeah.
The time stone they ain't got access to, so they'll need another way to go through time. So I reckon Douglas is, he's given us something that we already know. Otherwise, he wouldn't be allowed to say this.
Exactly.
But yeah, the quantum realm is going to be key.
Now, I really like this next piece of news because Bryan Cranston, I'm a huge fan of, because obviously Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
He's done...
he was in Godzilla as well, wasn't he?
He was in Godzilla as well. And, he's kind of played roles in another big film.
Infiltrator as well, that kind of...
Yeah, and he was like on a show on, I think I want to say Sneaky Pete, which was another Amazon kind of exclusive thing.
Another what thing?
Amazon exclusive.
Oh, great show on Amazon, yeah?
Yes, Amazon.
Really great show. That's a really good service, by the way.
I know, they're fantastic.
They
wow.
are.
$7.99?
Not a lot for a good service.
So we've got Bryan Cranston, and I like how we've got Bryan Cranston on one side, and then we've got this Marvel character, Mr. Sinister, who audiences will know from the 90s
cartoon. Cartoons,
oh man, the way he was drawn. The vampire-like teeth, the cape, just like bloody Dracula.
Mr. Sinister.
Oh man, I used to love that. It used to freak me out. I used to love it, man.
And his voice was kind of echoey, innit? Like he kind of reverberated in his voice.
Exactly, wicked.
He's mad.
So tell us about this.
Yeah, so this stems from X-Men Apocalypse.
The end. There was an end credit scene where
they that facility that Wolverine was kept in, that scene was the best thing about X-Men Apocalypse. When
Yeah.
Wolverine came out and just chopped people up.
That was like berserk, like
Exactly.
when he goes
That-
mad.
Oh man, he had an old school kind of, the thing on his head, the
Yeah.
wires. Shit, man.
Yeah.
So at the end credits of that, some scientists or business people, whoever, some shady cats basically
Yeah.
got a suitcase and it's got Essex Corp
Which
on
is,
it, which is Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister's sort of real name.
Yeah.
He's an Englishman, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Sinister, yeah. He's not from Essex, but he's an Englishman.
Wow.
Yeah. So they gather blood, Wolverine's blood, and pull it in the Essex sort of suitcase. So that just alludes that Mr. Sinister is in this universe.
And he's behind the
he's the mastermind pulling the strings, because Mr. Sinister is into genetic sort of, sort of genetic experimentation. He himself is like I guess he's a product of that in some kind of way.
because that's how he gets his whole the villain persona.
Yeah, but he's twofold. One, he wants to make, because he knows about the importance of Scott Summers and Jean Grey. He knows that their baby is going to be really important. Basically, Cable.
Yeah.
He knows that, because in the future, Cable's a badass. Cable is mad powerful.
Yeah.
The only reason he doesn't have his full powers is because he's infected by the techno-organic virus,
Right.
which is slowly making him into a robot, which he has to use most of his telekinetic powers for to stop him.
from spreading.
Otherwise, he'll be like a mad, powerful telepath.
Yeah.
Let's park that. So, Mr. Essex.
Well,
Getting
technically,
all posh,
Mr. Essex-
yes. So Mr. Sinister knows that. Mr. Sinister's backstory also derives from Apocalypse, who helped to make him who he is.
Yeah.
So he's got some hands in all kinds of pies.
Yeah.
He's a powerful cat. So if Bryan Cranston was linked to that, imagine he's a good actor. I
Yeah.
can see him kind of fitting into that role as well.
Yeah.
And I would really like to see Mr. Sinister made properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, made properly, because Apocalypse was ruined. Apocalypse
Yeah.
in the comics and the cartoons, he doesn't get defeated.
I know.
He's like a Thanos level cat.
Yeah.
He's mad clever. He's been all over time.
Yep.
He's got mad powers. He doesn't get dealt with.
Exactly.
He's like a 3-4 film kind of guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't get dealt with, and they killed him in one blooming
I
film.
know.
So Mr. Sinister, do you know what? Do him right, or don't do him at all.
Don't do him at all.
That's all I can say.
That
If you're
is it.
listening, Fox, aka Disney, do it right or leave him alone.
Exactly.
Please.
Please. I know. Don't mess it up. All right. Now we've spoken. Well, you mentioned Mark Hamill before, but check this out. He just recently confirmed via like Twitter or Instagram or something that he's definitely going to return for the next Star Wars movie. And
Okay.
and people are probably thinking, "Well, how?" But he died and
You need
everything.
that hologram, innit?
Yeah, he'll be kind of like the Force. So just like kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi back, from the film from the 70s and 80s and everything, how he came back.
And even Yoda came back in the last one.
Exactly.
And also, remember, Yoda came back and he interacted with now. Maybe he made the thunder come down and all that.
That is right.
So no one's ever done that before. No
So-
one's come back as a hologram and interacted with the
So
world.
I think this is going to open up like a whole new world. And again, I'd probably say that he will be kind of like Rey's mentor.
Yeah, Rey's Obi-Wan.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully Yoda will come up again, and there was even talk of like a Obi-Wan maybe coming
Is
back
it?
again. Who knows, man? With these films,
And also Qui-Gon as well, aka what's his name, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson, man, that fight scene.
AKA what's that film he was in again? A particular set of skills. Where his wife gets taken, his daughter
gets taken. Well, 3 times.
Yeah.
Shit, what is it called?
It'll come to us.
Oh,
This
man.
always happens.
I will find you and I will kill you. All right, okay. So, like, Thor. Okay, yep. Tell us about this one. Tell us about Thor.
So Thor, yeah. So no, sorry, it's not Thor. It's actually Chris Hemsworth. I just put it as Thor because it's less characters to write on the.
So Chris Hemsworth. Tell us about Chris Hemsworth.
So Chris Hemsworth has officially wrapped his part of the Men in Black spin-off.
Right.
So we know himself and Valkyrie,
Yeah.
aka Tessa Thompson,
Yeah, Tessa Thompson.
are going to be in the Men in Black spin-off. And I saw a quick image actually of them two walking on a desert with umbrellas.
Yeah, you saw that one. I saw the one where they're just like she's resting her arm on him and everything.
Okay,
it just looked so cool.
But yeah, it looks like a good film. They've got camaraderie from Ragnarok, so that they work really well together. They're both good performers.
Yeah.
Tessa Thompson is a really versatile. She's good, you know.
And I'll tell you the
she's
reason
really
why.
good.
Creed. She was in Creed.
Yep.
Which I just kind of like, you know, watched a little bit of just recently, and also Annihilation.
Yeah, she was in that as well.
She was in that. This girl is popping up everywhere. She's going to be a huge star.
Massive. And she was in Sorry to Bother You, which I saw last week.
You did as well,
She was in that.
Yeah.
She's also in Westworld. Don't forget Westworld. She's popped up in that.
Look.
Yeah, so Tessa Thompson, she's all right,
Brit,
you know.
and she's a Brit.
No, she's not. That's the thing.
What?
You see? Do you know what? I thought the same thing.
I thought she's a Brit.
Because her accent is so good.
What she's
American, man. I checked on IMDb. She's American.
Oh my gosh!
The girl's American.
In Thor Ragnarok.
I know. I thought so too, and I checked and I was like, hold on, where's she from? Oh shit, is it Washington or California? She's American anyway. Put it that way. Yeah, I know. She's good.
That is good. That is a really good accent. All right, and finally,
Krasinski. Yeah. So basically, he's writing The Quiet Place. In a quiet place, probably in a library,
exactly,
somewhere away from home. So
that film just took that massive at the box office.
Yeah, so he's writing part 2. So far, we don't know if it's going to be a direct sequel
or a prequel,
or something in between. I think there's lots of space for a prequel.
Yeah,
I think a direct sequel. There's also space for that, but I think to find out maybe a bit more about where these things came from.
Yep.
And okay, I reckon probably there's going to be more budget.
Yeah.
And do you know what? In my head,
that's not always a good thing.
I was just going to say, because this was so intimate and so controlled, I think more budget is going to make me more, and sometimes more isn't always better.
Exactly.
But, you know, let this guy have his work and let him do his thing, because he's done well in the first one.
How about this for a title?
Not So Quiet Now.
A Loud Place.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, no, it's just too easy, that one. Right, okay, so thanks for that, Deval. It's a lot of news, and remember, we're always kind of like, you know, reading up on this stuff, so new stuff comes in every day from our birdies out in LA and wherever. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll keep you informed. So let's now move on to the box office top 10, and sitting in at number 10 is the Kevin Hart starer and the
Tiffany
Haddish film Night School.
Still there, number 10.
Still there, number 10. Taken 3 million. It's probably going to be on its way out.
Yeah.
And number 9, we've got The House with a Clock in Its Walls. Again, this is on its way out as well. Saying
that though, it's half term in the UK now, so a film like that might pick up a bit of traction during that time. Who knows?
But look, it's done better than Night School.
Yeah, so it may just linger for another week, possibly. We'll see next week.
Exactly. At number 8 is Bad Times at the El Royale,
which I was meant to see,
and which I saw.
You saw. I saw. I'm gutted.
And you know what?
I've been a bad boy this week.
This is looking pretty bad.
Is it? I know, but sometimes the money doesn't always make up for the film.
I mean, I'm going to speak about the film, but I'm pretty sad that it's in at number 8 because it deserves better than that, I think.
$500,000,
and it's at number 8. It's out, mate.
It's gone.
It's
bad times.
It's bad times. It literally is bad times.
El Royale for sure.
And okay, here's a film that I haven't seen, and it's a Polish film actually. It's called Clare. That's spelled Kler, and it means clergy in Polish.
Okay.
And it's
like the sort of priest kind of thing.
Exactly. So it's a film about from what I've read, it's a film about the abuse and about the abuse of power within the Catholic Church in Poland.
Okay.
And from what I've heard, it's taken a shitload of money domestically.
Okay. So it must, if it's here now, it must have.
Exactly. And obviously, as you know, in London, in England, we've got a huge Polish community. So, and I'm sure people back home have been telling people, hey, go out and watch this film. So that's good to see.
John Paul, the Pope, John Paul part 2. John Paul the second. Wasn't he Polish? Well, one of them was not the one now, but the one before was Polish, wasn't he?
Possibly. Yeah.
I swear he was Polish.
Yeah, you're right.
Check that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got. Yeah. What's this? Number 6.
Oh, that's some sort of Cliff Richard line.
Oh, we got to see this.
Oh, you're going to laugh, mate. I'll leave that to you. Leave it to you, yeah?
So number 6 is Event Cinema, Cliff Richard Live, 60th
Yeah, because some of these
anniversary.
cinemas have these like live shows and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I know.
that's taken 1.1 million.
It's done more
than El Royale.
Shit, man.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
sitting in at number 5 is Smallfoot, which I haven't seen, and it's doing all right.
Well, you wouldn't see it because if you look down, your gut would your gut would hide it. So if you look down, if you got small feet,
yeah, exactly. I can't see it.
You couldn't see past.
No, past my
it would
gut.
you wouldn't see the small feet.
Exactly. But what do we know about this?
It's an animation actually. So it's an animation about some
Small
guy
feet.
that's got small feet. It's got James Corden. It's got LeBron James actually in it. It's got who else has it got in it? There's a few people. It's got Common in it as well.
Right.
So it's got a few like LeBron James is getting out there now.
Yeah, because he's
LA Lakers. He just joined them. He's basketball. He's doing Space Jam 2.
Yeah.
He's popping up for
We spoke
a
about
media career outside of basketball once
Yeah.
he's finished. So he's shaping up.
he is.
He's not got small feet.
No,
I don't think so.
Definitely not. Right. Okay. So at number 4, we've got First Man, which we spoke about last week, and I mean, you know what? It is a great movie. Visually, it's stunning. Great performances from Ryan Gosling and Claire Foy, and it just kind of brings home this kind of human story about the cost of going over to the moon and what that involved.
With the emotional cost, you mean?
The emotional cost. You know, and there's a lot of stuff in this movie which I didn't know about. Like, obviously, I mentioned, like, you know, the human cost, the death, people dying. But it's a great film.
Okay.
All right.
I still got to see it.
Yeah, watch that one. Sitting in at number 3 is Johnny English Strikes Again. I haven't seen it, but look, you know, it's taken 8 million so far.
Yeah, he's well beloved in the UK. So anything he does, I think people are going to respond to it.
Exactly.
He's a likable character. He's a goofy character. He's
Yeah,
you know,
really
Mr. Bean
goofy.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But there's a place for him, and he'll always do well.
I think what it almost feels like is that every once in a while, like, this film will kind of pop up.
and it'll do all right.
Yeah, and it'll make its money.
Yeah.
And then this is enough for them to say, hey, you know what? In about 3 or 4 years' time, let's do another one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, right. Sitting in at number 2 is Venom, which has,
Yeah.
which you know, you mentioned this before. In America, in North America, it's done heavy
Really
business.
well. Yeah, it's broken the record for October at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, done really well. I mean, it's even here it's been out for a few weeks. It's just been pipped by the number 1, but it's literally done just over 3 million in a week.
In a week.
So that's quite consistent.
It is.
you
It
know?
is. Yeah. I think there's still kind of like some gas left in the tank for this
Oh
one.
yeah, there is. Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. There's a bit more venom in the fangs.
Yep. And at number 1 is A Star Is Born, which is the forgotten his name now.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga
Yep.
starrer. And I saw this film. It is, again, you know what? It's a really interesting piece of filmmaking. Film
It's his
director.
directorial debut. You're
Yes.
just going to say that, weren't you?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. And not only that, he wrote the songs, he's performed the songs, he co-wrote the film, he directed the film, he produced the film. Man, I tell you what, man, this guy is just...
He's done a lot, hasn't he?
He's done a lot.
Damn.
All right, so there's your lot. That's your UK top 10 films.
I heard that.
So now, Devaldo, tell us what is out on Blu-ray.
Out on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital download. So we have Ocean's 8.
Yes, which we watched.
We watched in the cinema, and I liked it. It was good, refreshing, and it was entertaining. It was fun, but I think the message in it was bad.
Why do they have to steal?
They're stealing from people that actually don't deserve to be stolen from as well. So I just think it's a crime, and we shouldn't be celebrating it. I know it makes me sound quite stiff and old, but
Definitely stiff.
oh my gosh! And when you're old, never waste a stiff.
But yeah, I mean,
but-
like I said, like, I don't know. There was a moment in the film where I just kind of something. I thought to myself, hang on, that doesn't make sense. There was a bit in the film where they needed the help of the character played by who was Catwoman
Oh, from what's her name?
from the Dark Knight trilogy. Oh shit,
I can't remember her name now. It'll come to me. But yeah, Catwoman, and she was in
Devils Wear Prada.
and in Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Yeah, her name will
Yeah.
come. This always happens to us.
Shit.
It's nothing.
So there's this part of the film where I'm like, you've just kind of like agreed to do this whole thing, and like, where did that come from? So it was just like, oh gosh, all right, okay. But interesting. I think they're going to do more of this. Ghostbusters. Do you remember Ghostbusters when that was an all-male film back in the 80s? They turned it into an all-female thing. Oceans 11, 12, and 13. Same thing here, and I think it's going to happen more and more. So we'll see more films like this, and which are interesting. All right, what else have we got?
Star Wars Rebels. So the complete, the complete series, all of them. It's 4 series, Star Wars Rebels, and it's canon to Star Wars as well. So it fills in gaps from between Jedi? Which one is it? Basically, it fills in the gaps of Star Wars, basically. So it's out on DVD this week, and it's the last Star Wars animation that's been produced. I think the next one's going to be Star Wars, The Clone Wars, which is going to come out again, which is really good. For me, the next best thing to Star Wars is Star Wars, The Clone Wars. If you can watch that,
right,
you're winning. Star Wars Rebels is really good as well. You had, I think Yoda might have shown up in it. Did he? I think so. And then we had Darth Vader showed up in it. So basically, the Rebels is what happened after. I think it's what's happened after the Sith. Yeah, it's between the Sith and New Hope, I believe.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is. I could be wrong.
Right.
But it's really good. Really, really good quality as well. Really good production value.
Yeah.
And it's canon to Star Wars story as well. So
they could pluck any one of those stories if they wanted to, and they could turn it into kind of like a big feature film.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah. They had Saul Guerrero, who was played by Forrest Whitaker.
Oh.
He was in Star Wars Rebels in an episode. Yeah. So literally the same... That character that was in which one was
that was the
Rogue
One, wasn't it?
Rogue One. No, Rogue One. Yeah. It was Rogue One.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah, so he was in Rebels. So it literally, it coexists basically.
That's interesting.
Now we have The Crown.
Yeah, this one. I mean, I haven't seen this, but I know a lot of people love this show.
Love it.
This is one of Netflix's
most expensive shows,
exactly, and it stars Claire Foy,
which is why I put it on there as well. Links to First Man.
Yes,
she's she's past up and coming. She's going to be mega.
And just recently, I saw the trailer for
the girl that kicked the hornet's nest or something, or one of those sorts of.
Yes,
it's like the dragon tattoo kind of vibe.
It's like a continuation of that story.
What it is. Yeah. So she's in that, and she was in the film that I saw a few months ago now, actually. Which was Insane.
Yes.
Unsane, sorry, which I think is a really good film.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, she's good. She's good actually. So yeah.
No, you're right. Yes. Yeah. And there's a lot of films that she's going to be coming up in.
Yeah. No, we'll keep an eye out for her, and hopefully we'll get a shout out from her as well at some point in the future.
Yes. Okay.
And then down a very dark hall, we have a film. No, I'm joking. So Down a Dark Hall is a film. It's a weird film actually, and it stars is it Uma Thurman?
Right, from Kill Bill.
Yes, Uma Thurman. I want to say Uma Thurman, but it's about basically she's a school. Well, it's not a school. It's more like an institute for sort of troubled kids. And in this institute, they've got a lot of kids that have been troubled and have been kicked out of school and all sorts. And they are taken to this facility to try and be, rectified, put straight.
Yeah.
And basically, these kids are put in a situation where the school and the facility is basically got some mad
techniques, right?
No, it's not even that. Spirits and this is a horror film. Yeah, so the school, basically all these students they're all troubled kids. You think, they're stupid, they're this, they're that, they're delinquents. Once they all get into the situation where they realise there's something going on here, and the head teacher, Uma Thurman, has got some other ulterior motive, they kind of band together
Right.
to try and survive, basically, because one by one
They start
these kids are something's happening to these kids.
Yeah.
And the parents probably think, oh, it's just my kid was always bad. Oh, they've gone mad now. Oh, it's always going to happen. Oh gosh, it's so sad. But really
It's the demon head mistress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Down a Dark Hall is out on DVD now.
Okay, that sounds
so
interesting.
you can watch it in the comfort of your own house.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what is new on streaming and coming up on trailers?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
All right. So listen, here's one that I kind of saw. This is a trailer actually that I want to kind of mention. It's called The Kid Who Would Be King.
Oh.
What a title. The Kid Who Would Be King. And it's directed by, do you remember Attack the Block?
Yeah. We spoke about that last week
We
because
did.
the new Doctor Who's in it.
That was it.
Yeah.
So Joe Cornish, he directed Attack the Block. And also you might remember Joe Cornish was involved in writing the first draft for Ant-Man.
Oh, yes. Along with, what's his name,
Your
innit?
man,
Edgar Hall. Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
That was it. So clearly, I mean, I think he was wrote Tintin as well, I think, or he might have been
Oh, is
involved
it?
in writing
Tintin.
Tintin as well. Yeah.
Tintin.
So yeah.
Snowy.
So The Kid Who Would Be King is a new take on the King Arthur legend. But importantly for obviously this movie is it's all acted out by kids. So you've got a school kid who's been bullied. He's kind of bit of a loner. And one day when, being bullied, he comes across the sword in the stone and magically he draws the sword out of the stone. So the legend is that if you draw the sword out of the stone, you are the rightful heir to you're King Arthur basically. So it's got Patrick Stewart in it who plays
Professor X.
yes, who plays Merlin.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I think he plays Merlin. And it's got Rebecca Ferguson, and you would have seen her most
Mission
recently.
Impossible?
Mission Impossible.
Why do I say like Sean Connery? Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, and she plays Morgana. Morgana, yeah. So she plays the evil Morgana, that sorceress.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's gonna be kind of like a King Arthur legend, but it's told like in England, like British actors, and it's gonna have kind of like spectacle. It's gonna have loads of, I think, a comedy, where the kids banding together, and then they got to defeat the the evil army of Morgana. So yeah, it should be fun, should be interesting, and that'll be coming out I think at the Christmas time, if I'm not mistaken.
Perfect time. Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
Okay,
Secondly,
interesting.
another trailer that I wanted to mention to you it's a horror film, and it's called The Curse of let me get, even I can't get the pronunciation. Yeah,
If you can't, I can't.
Llorona.
Ah, La Llorona.
La Llorona. Now, La Llorona is the weeping lady. Now this is a bit of a legend. So this is a Mexican legend, and the legend goes,
I'm scared already. I'm
oh,
scared.
man, seriously,
Because to weep is the next level. Because you can cry,
but
you can
weeping,
bawl, but when you're weeping,
it means
that's
something
the next level.
Yeah,
That's the
really
next level.
painful. So basically, the legend is
Anne
that,
Hathaway.
what?
So it just popped into my.
Anne Hathaway. Yeah,
Sorry,
absolutely right. Yeah,
Ocean's
from
8.
Ocean's 8. Yeah,
Sorry.
It's fine. So La Llorona is based on an urban legend where a lady in Mexico, she drowned her kids in a lake.
Oh my.
And ever since that time, she's been wandering the earth, or wandering the area, like looking for those kids. So she's caught between our realm and the other realm, which we don't want to go and which we don't want to speak about. But she's caught in between this place, and the legend goes that if you hear her weeping, basically run, because she's coming out for you. And also, if you're a kid and you hear the weeping, she wants you because she thinks that you are her kid, and just basically run. So I saw the trailer.
I am running, mate. I'm running from now.
I saw the trailer. It looks kind of creepy. It looks freaky. It's got these kids in it as well, and obviously because she's looking for, the weeping lady's looking for her kids. But do you remember the priest from Annabelle?
He's in it.
He's in it.
That Joker priest.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's basically part of it's got some kind of characters which are similar. And also connected to The Conjuring and Annabelle this is produced by James Wan.
Oh my gosh.
And it's directed by future Conjuring 3 director.
Oh. They're going to bring The Conjuring into this
you
somehow.
know what? I think it's all part of the universe. Do you know that? So check this out. It's called The Curse of La Llorona, The Weeping Lady. I mean, we'll watch it, right? This is going to be on our list.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
But true, all those some of those terms make it much more powerful. Because to weep, I mean, when was the last time you said, "Oh, I wept the other day"? You know, it's like
you don't say it, do you?
You can cry, but if you're weeping, it means your soul is spilling out.
It's like there's something terribly wrong.
Weep.
It's like
weep.
And imagine seeing this a lady
weeping.
Walking with white clothes and just making this terrible weeping sound.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's not
it's kind of like, it reminds me of, guys, I know this is silly, but it kind of reminds me of, okay, you got a snake,
yeah.
But when you say serpent,
that is so true.
When you say serpent,
that is so true.
Biblical.
It's like serpent. It's like, why can't you just say snake?
Serpents are next level.
Nasty.
We get the serpent out again,
Because once a serpent gets in you,
oi, that gets into your spirit, mate.
Oh man,
don't.
Seriously, don't.
Serpents.
Please don't.
Okay, and the next one.
Yeah, tell us about this one. Yeah, go on.
The escape room is about, hey, some people do this like for some work events or just fun. You can book an escape room.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know, lasts an hour or so. You've got these different tasks or challenges that you got to try and do within the time. And the more you do, I guess you get, you get through it and you can basically, conquer the escape room. You got to try and do it within the time. It's mostly fun.
Yeah.
It's mostly fun. This now is not. This escape room, it sounds like you need to escape if you want to live. Yeah. So it's for me, think of Saw.
Yeah.
And think of The Cube.
Cube, right, okay.
The Cube came out in 1997. There's been 3 Cubes since then, or 4.
Yeah.
No, 3. I think it's 1, 2, 3. So Cube 1, Cube 2, Cube 0.
Okay.
There might be another one. But yeah, those films, basically, the Cube is like you wake up in this technologically crazy, advanced room that's shaped like a cube, and you got to try and escape. Otherwise, you die.
And there's different tasks that you need to
crazy
complete.
Contraptions and tasks. And this film sounds like it with a mixture of Saw.
Sure.
Because I think some of these, tasks, if you don't complete them, you're losing a leg, or you're losing an arm, or something mad's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
So this seems like basically the premise is a bunch of people wake up in this room. They got to work together to get out of the room.
Sure.
Different rooms, bit by bit. And I got the feeling that by the end of the film, we're going to have 2 people left or 1 person left.
And then there's going to be a sequel or a prequel. I bet you.
Exactly. So
it looks interesting though.
Yeah. It looks all right. Yeah, it looks all right. I think it's coming out next year, 2019. Yeah. So 2019 is looking like a loaded year.
Yeah.
Loaded year.
And just before we kind of move off onto the next section, other stuff that's out, which has just come out, we know that Making a Murderer is out.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil season 3 is out. Apostle is out.
Yep.
Man in the High Castle.
Do you know what I think is out as well? Because I saw it, but I haven't seen it yet.
The night
comes for you.
Us. Oh, man.
I think that's on Netflix now. I got to double check. Is it on there?
It is. It's on there.
Don't mess around.
We got to watch this.
I'm watching that tonight, mate.
We got to watch it, and we'll review that for next week.
Heavy film.
And like I said before, I haven't seen any of the Daredevil yet, so we'll speak about that.
I'm on episode 5.
I knew you
I'm
were.
on episode 5. I'm catching little
Seriously.
half an hour episode here, there. I'm just
we'll speak about it next week.
But guys, The Night Will Come For You. Watch it. It's got the people from The Raid in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Abby likes that. Abby, if you're hearing this,
go watch it, Abby.
Emmanuel, if you're hearing this, watch The Night Comes For You.
Yeah.
Because you know it always does.
And what a title.
You can't escape it. The night comes for you, mate.
It is. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm weeping. Right, okay. So now let's move on to I love Anniversary Corner, man.
Why'd you love it? Because of this? Anniversary Corner.
It's just, you know what? It's so catchy that. So Anniversary Corner is our section where we bring you a selection of films going back 30 years all the way to 10 years ago. And I mean, this week we've got like a mixture of kind of like horror, a bit of thriller, psychological thriller. We've got sci-fi.
Did it on purpose, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got
a horror kind of week, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've got a film about children. Tell us about The Children.
The Children is actually came out in 2008. Yeah, because 10 years ago, isn't it? It's a mad film. It's a mad film.
I love it when you start a film off like that because it's going to be crazy.
It's a mad film. This film, yeah, it's about this, families that, so quite young families. There's hipster type families. They get together in like a cottage type situation. They've all got kids, and all the kids can play together. Oh, it's good. I'll go and play on the swings. Mummy, daddy. All the kids are having fun. It's like one of those.
That is creepy, man.
I think it's near Christmas time or something, but it's like a holiday kind of thingy. And yeah, all is good. All is good. Everyone's happy. There's no beef. It's all good, man. Everyone's eating, drinking. Ha 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 ha. And it all goes bad.
That does sound good.
Basically, something happens to these kids. I don't know if it's a virus or something.
Yeah.
But basically, the kids start like turning into psychopaths, killers.
Shit.
The kid, yeah, they start killing. The kids start killing, man.
Oh.
I don't know how else to say it. The kids start killing, man.
Yeah.
The kids turn into killers, and then the parents have to protect themselves and try not to kill their own kids.
Oh gosh.
The kids are turned into like a bunch of Chuckies.
Because on one side you're like, that's my kid. I love my kid, but at the same time, your kid is like trying to slit your throat.
Exactly. Yeah,
like,
and the way these kids try and kill people is it's not no nice, way of killing. It's like the little Chuckies, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Little Chuckies trying to just stab you up or whatever. It's mad. It's mad. It's almost the opposite of
Mum and Dad.
Yeah, of that film where
Yeah.
the parents try and kill the kids. This is the opposite.
Yeah.
So think of the dynamic of what's going to be harder: a parent trying to stop their kid killing them, or a kid trying to run away from their parents trying to kill them. It's both a madness because you're balanced, your love and your like you want to love them, but then you're at the same time it's a madness, you know.
I think those two have to be watched as a double bill, right?
Oh my
You got to
gosh.
watch it as a double bill.
That's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good shout.
It is, isn't it?
A good shout.
We'll
You're
put
getting
that
both
up on-
sides of the coin. Yeah, put it up. Let's put it up.
We'll put that one
Yeah.
up, right? Okay, all right. So that's The Children. That was from 2008, and now Switchblade Romance. Now
That's a title, man. Come on, romance with a switchblade.
Switchblade. I just think flick of a knife and
yeah.
I love you. Yeah, stab you.
Switchblade Romance, man. French film.
Yes.
It was released in the UK under Switchblade Romance. In France, it was called High Tension. I know Switchblade Romance sounds a lot better.
It's more intriguing,
I don't know
right?
how one title can come from another.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, they called it like, I don't know, low tension or mid tension or love tension or nothing to do with tension. It's just Switchblade Romance. I don't know how they got that. A lot of flip chart paper to get that one. Brainstorming.
It's like, it doesn't match, does it, at all?
But this is about a couple of girls actually that are on a road trip in France, or they're doing some sort of finding themselves. Eat, pray, love. Oh yes, let's go and be at one with the countryside. Yes, let's explore. And they go out there.
And what? They start killing people?
No, not everyone kills people. But they go to this cottage. I think they run out of petrol. They need to use their phone or something. And that's the biggest mistake they could ever make. They go to this cottage. One thing leads to another. The people in the cottage are
crazies.
Yeah, they're crazies. Switchblades.
Oh man!
Like it's just they're trying to survive for their life.
Yeah,
it's a madness. It's a good film.
Yeah,
it's one of those kind of slasher type. Hills have eyes. They're not like grotesque like that. They look like normal people.
Okay, they're the worst ones.
Exactly.
Yeah,
which is worse because that could be your neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's a madness, but it's a good film. The title alone
is enough to kind of hook you in, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it warrants a watch. Okay. Switchblade Romance.
And that was back from
2003, 15 years ago.
15 years ago. Wow. Mm-hmm. And then, all right, this one from 20 years ago. So this is 1998.
Yeah.
This is Psycho. And is this the remake of...
Yeah, this is the one with Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
I don't know who put Vince Vaughn in that.
I know. And I remember when this came out, I actually saw this in cinema. This is... So, you got a remake... But not only is it remake, it's a
scene by
shot,
scene, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
a
no,
shot
yeah.
for shot
Yeah.
remake of Psycho from back in 1968 or whatever it was. Directed by Gus Van Sant. Double check that for me.
Gus Vincent.
I think, is it Gus Van Sant or
I'll double check that for you. No problem.
yeah. And Gus Van Sant, he's done like some really, really good movies.
Oh yeah.
So Vince Vaughn, who plays Norman Bates. Yeah, Norman Bates.
Yep.
And it's exactly this. There is nothing else for us to kind of say. It's exactly the same as the Psycho movie from 1968, starring Anthony Perkins and directed by Alfred Hitchcock. But it's got Vince Vaughn as obviously Norman Bates, and I can't remember who was the Janet Leigh character.
Julianne Moore's in it.
Julianne Moore.
Leela Crane.
Right.
Anne Heck.
Anne Hesh.
Hesh, or sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Anne Hesh
William
plays
H. Macy, Viggo Mortensen, or Aragon.
Aragon. Wow.
Is in it. There's quite a few people in it, actually.
Yeah. But I remember when this came out, it was like, right, okay, why did they need to remake? Number one, why did they need to make Psycho? But secondly, why did they do it? Why did he do a shot-for-shot remake?
Gus Van Sant.
Yeah. And it came
Yeah,
under a
seems
lot
kinda lazy, innit?
It came under a lot of criticism, really, because they were like, was this necessary? Because you're talking about a classic movie, psychological horror thriller that was from the 60s, which people like totally revere.
Maybe that's why, because they knew it was so good back in the day, they felt like they wanted to bring it out again, but not change it, because they felt it would just be better to leave it the same.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. In some kind of way, it got budget and someone thought it's a good idea.
Yeah, possibly. I wonder if it made kind of like money, but I'm not sure.
I ain't got a clue though.
But that was from
1998.
That was from 1998. All right, a film that I wanted to kind of like mention was a kind of strange film, actually. It's called The Vanishing, and this is from 25 years ago. So this is from 1993. Okay. And it's a remake of a Dutch film.
Oh.
And I think like in Dutch it was called like Without a Trace. But what happens usually, you get like these successful films from other countries, and then Hollywood gets wind of them.
Yep.
And then they say, you know what, let's do a remake.
Yep.
So the remake stars Jeff Bridges, Kiefer Sutherland, and future star, well, actually, was she big in 93? I'm not sure. But
Anne Hathaway.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was
She was in Speed. Speed came out in 93.
Oh,
I
right.
think.
So she was probably...
Or something. 90,
oh, and Demolition
94.
Man was in 93
she was,
as well. So she was big.
She was up and coming, innit? Yeah.
Yeah. So let me just tell you the plot of this one. So...
Oh, Vanishing. Okay. So what vanishes? Do they vanish?
Well...
Or did they use too much vanish and they disappear from existence?
Well, there's that as well. Kiefer Sutherland and Sandra Bullock, they're driving through, middle America, and they're on vacation. And one day, Sandra Bullock vanishes without a trace. And this has left Kiefer Sutherland like distraught. He spends like years and years and years trying to find out what's exactly happened to her, and he's got nowhere. And just as when he thinks that, he can move on with his life, he gets a knock on the door. And it's Jeff Bridges. And Jeff Bridges says to him, I was the one
who took your wife. Serious.
And imagine that for a moment. So the love of your life, your wife, vanishes without a trace. Years later, knock on the door, hey ho, it was me who did it.
So he literally bridged the gap, didn't he? Jeff Bridges bridged that gap.
The guy, he just broke through and just kind of like, oh my gosh.
Wow, I'll be angry, gutted. I'll be like, what?
But imagine Jeff Bridges' character, the guts that you got to be able to knock on the door and do that.
Just knock on, hey man,
it was
your wife we're missing? I took her.
And then, so Jeff Bridges promises Kiefer Sutherland, I will tell you exactly what happened, right? But there's a catch. And the catch is I will tell you exactly what happens only if you agree to go through exactly what your wife went through.
But I don't know what that is yet.
Exactly.
Oh, I'll be like, nah, it's cool. Close the door. See ya.
So on one hand, you've got Kiefer Sutherland who wants to find out about his wife and what happened to her and everything. And this guy, who's obviously like a maniac, crazy, says, okay, I'll tell you exactly what happened to your wife, but I'm going to put you through exactly what your wife went through. Boom. Do you want to do it? Do you want to know?
Well, he has to say yeah, because otherwise there'll be no film.
There'll be no film because he could just shut the door and that's exactly. At the end. And so then there's kind of flashbacks to kind of we learn about what happened, what Jeff Bridges did, and it's just kind of like really. It's one of those trippy movies where it would just makes you think, right, okay, what would you do in that situation? Would the first instinct be just to kind of kill this person? Or does the desire to find out what happened to your wife overcome that desire for you to take revenge?
Okay. But then I would have thought maybe also that Jeff Bridges probably like had a good time with the wife. So if he's saying you have to go for the same thing, I'm thinking, shit, I don't want you to do nothing to me like that.
But that's the thing. Kiefer Sutherland doesn't know.
Damn.
So he's got to
door,
say
mate.
yes, or he's got to kill him. There's just two alternatives. You either kill the man or you just say yes. And then you've got to go through exactly the whole experience. So yes, so this was back in 93, and it's an interesting story. It didn't do well. Critically, it was panned. And I think critically because the original was just so good, as a lot of the case.
Yeah.
And I remember when was it The Ring?
Yeah.
Was it The Ring when the Japanese
one.
film? And I remember when they started making the US one, and then it was just like they just don't compare. You get that a lot, but it's an interesting film. So if you like your psychological, like you're basically worst nightmare, right? Like flipping hell. Apart from A Weeping Lady, this is going to be up there. So that is The Vanishing, and that was from 1993.
Damn.
And obviously keeping it with Halloween theme, because Halloween is out, obviously.
Yep. Halloween 4. So Halloween 4 came out in 1988. There's been too many Halloweens. I didn't realise there were 4 of them,
You know what?
I've lost track. I haven't seen this one. I just put it here because Halloween's out.
I know. And the funny thing is Halloween 3, it was called Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. That's got nothing to do with Michael Myers.
Are you serious?
There's nothing to do with Michael Myers.
It's people, man.
And then what happened was...
Just trying to get money.
Exactly. And then what happened was that film did so badly, they were like, okay, let's bring back Michael Myers and the whole thing. And then after this was Halloween H20.
So 20 years later?
Yeah.
Wow.
Then there was the remake Rob Zombie, Halloween, from 2007.
What?
Bro.
There's been another one.
You know what? This is the film that keeps on giving blood.
Gosh, I'm tired of it, man.
Seriously. Oh yeah. All right. So that was Halloween 4, and if you love your Halloween films, go and check that one out. But I mean, seriously, you're not going to be.
Now we've got to actually talk about Halloween now, isn't it?
Right. Okay. Now let's.
I've already had enough of talking.
I know. Right. Now let's move into the review section, and all right. So let's go then. All right. Let's take away. So, you just mentioned Halloween 4.
Yeah.
Right. So this Halloween from 2018 is a continuation of the Halloween from 1978. But here's a crucial difference to Val. Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween 4, the Rob Zombie remake, they've all been retconned. They don't exist. Yeah. So according to the director of and the makers of this new Halloween, all that shit just doesn't exist.
Just for the listeners out there, retcon means retroactive continuity. That's when the filmmakers like change something to make it easier in most cases to continue a storyline.
Yeah. This is I mean,
happens in the comics a lot, basically.
Yeah.
Happens a lot in the comics.
It does, doesn't it? So Blumhouse and
Blumhouse are conquering the horror world right now.
They are, man. I think it's a bit of a misstep here. If I'm being totally honest, I'm just going to put that out there.
Yep.
It's been a bit of a huge letdown for me on this one, but let's have the setup.
Yeah.
So this is 40 years after Halloween, so the original 1978 film. Now, let's go back a bit. Michael Myers was 6 years old when he murdered his sister in the first Halloween film.
Oh, was it? Yeah, because I saw the clip from that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I forgot. In Halloween, I know.
Yeah.
In Halloween 1, then.
Yeah.
Wasn't that clip before Halloween 1?
Yeah. So what happens is, when he was 6 years old, Michael Myers kills his sister.
Yeah.
In an apparent like mental rage, whatever.
Yeah.
He gets sent away, and then 15 years later.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So when he's 21 years old, he's being transported from one place to another place, but then he escapes, and then he comes back to.
And that makes Halloween.
Then he makes Halloween,
okay,
right? So that's that. And it's kind of a similar setup in this one. So it's been 40 years later. Michael Myers is in this kind of mental institute, and the backstory is that he's been kind of spoken to by like 30, 40 different mental psychologists, and they all say one thing: he's mentally deranged, he's psychotic, and given the opportunity, he'll basically kill you. Right?
Yeah.
That is it. And then we get these two journalists, like flipping out, Pinky and Perky, right? Pinky and Perky from England. They come over. They're like, yes, we want to interview you, and we want to find out about the real Michael Myers.
You know?
And oh, for God's sake,
Donuts.
seriously. And as soon as that happened, I was like, listen, this is a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And so you got these two, British journalists. They come over, and he was like, hey, Michael, I've got this thing for you. Can you tell me? And he pulls out his Michael Myers mask, right? And
Look at it.
Look at it. Right, okay. So. it's
I wanted
so
Michael
funny.
Myers to clap him in his face.
I from that point onwards, I wanted Michael Myers just to kill him.
Yeah.
End his journalism days.
Well, I wanted one of the other sort of inmates to just come over and maybe chew his face off or something, because they were all going kind of like mad, and they all go. They're all kind of like they're all reacting.
The dog barking.
Yeah.
Fine. So you got these like visual shots. They want to build up the tension. You see, there's something really kind of crazy about Michael Myers. We still don't get to see his face, but crucially, he's got white hair.
Yeah.
He's bald.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
bald and he's got white hair. And he's played by the same guy who played Michael Myers from 1978.
No.
Yes.
Oh my.
In some of the
gosh.
scenes, but the more physical scenes, they brought in a new cat.
Okay.
But it for part way through, it's the same Michael Myers, the same actor. So Michael Myers is, he's got a crazy, his psychologist as well, who's kind of like the new Dr. Loomis, and that's a reference to kind of like the 1978 film, who's like,
Oh, I thought so.
yeah, who's like, hey, look, you know what? He's my patient, and you know what? I've studied him for the last 30, 40 years, and he's magnificent. I want to find out about what goes on in his mind and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, okay, you're next. You're gonna die next, right? Simple as that. Like end of story. And the journalists, they then meet Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
Now, when we meet Laurie Strode, I'm like thinking, oh my God, this is like Linda Hamilton. This is like Sarah Connors.
I kind of, and also from Walking Dead, from
Carol.
Carol, yeah. She kind of reminded me of that. The grey
White
hair
hair,
and the shotguns and all that.
And like, the practicing. And now Laurie Strode is someone who's basically lived in seclusion. She's been waiting for a moment in time where she might have to confront Michael Myers one more time. So doors are all locked. She's got bolts. She's got like secret rooms, hidden rooms. She's got cameras set up all over the place. And the journalists, they visit her and they say, hey, look, we'd like to ask you some questions about Michael Myers and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, okay, she agrees for some money. She gets interviewed.
$3,000.
$3,000 for about 10-minute work.
I know.
Fine. So then the journalists, they ask her a few questions, and then right, boof, they're off. And then this is where things start to get kind of funny, or if you want to call it funny. They're off putting petrol in the car, and they don't know it, but Michael Myers has escaped. He's escaped now, right?
Yeah.
And the way he escapes and what happens is just all kind of like, right, okay, we knew this was going to happen because he's being transported from one place to another place, and it's a Halloween movie. He escapes. He somehow tracks down the two journalists who are putting petrol in the car, and she goes off and says, hey, I need to go for a number 2.
I know. Yeah, I kind of thought, did she just say that?
Yeah, she does say, I need to go for a number 2, which is kind of weird, so anyway, she's off in the toilet, and it's just so funny, right? She goes off in the toilet, and then you see a couple of deaths, you see Michael Myers doing his thing, and she's taking a dump, and you see his feet coming into
gosh.
And I just thought, this is just so funny, it's so stupid, but hey, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go along with it. You know what? He notches a few people on his list. And
I don't know which version you saw, because there was a regular version and an over 18s version.
I saw the 18 version.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So I mean,
because some of the deaths were quite graphic.
they were like, bashing against the
Yeah,
wall. And
yeah.
But then I thought to myself, 18. I was expecting maybe a bit more.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought that there could have been a bit more blood, gore.
Oh, no, I was expecting less. I actually thought it would be more your typical, just regular sort of deaths and that. But I mean, there's obviously one of the deaths where he crushes the guy's head. And I thought to myself, hold on a second.
How is this possible?
Because we saw that it's impossible to do that.
You would need to do about 10 times.
An elephant could have that pressure to do that.
Yeah.
And a simple man who is an OAP, he's been standing for the past 20 years or 40 years
40
actually.
years, yeah.
He's been standing still for 40 years. Yeah, he's not done anything.
Where does he get his energy from?
This man they should call, the Avengers should call this guy, yeah? I'm telling you, call him to fight Thanos because he's on the next level of strength. I'm telling you. That's one thing that pissed me off. This guy's meant to be old. Oh, do you know what? Oh, okay, do you know what?
Go on.
I need to lay into this film.
Please do
First of all, guys, I ain't gonna hold back on this. It was a fun film, and when I say fun, at a stretch, because I was laughing at how
bad it was.
Yeah, how silly some things were. We all know the tropes, of these slasher films, of the person, the baddie always catching up to the person. This man didn't break a sweat. He's walking around the place, in daylight with this mask from the petrol station to wherever he goes to. He was in a house and the policeman saw him and he walked downstairs. The policeman was running and still couldn't shoot him. What kind of deputy sheriff is this? Yeah, this guy walks around and is invincible. He's invincible.
I don't get it.
And even when he gets shot, nothing happens to him. He just carries on walking.
He can walk. He walks so slow that when they're shooting, they miss.
Yeah. He just walks around the place and people are running and he still catches up to them. How does that work? So, do you know what? Some of the things I didn't like in this film is that he's too strong for a guy that's meant to be 60-something. No one can touch him.
Yeah.
He walks around. No one can catch him. And all the decisions that these victims make, good they died. They deserve to die.
I know.
Running upstairs.
Going outside.
You know what I mean?
Why?
There's a bit where, I'm jumping quite ahead here, but there's a bit where the granddaughter, there's a scene where she's in a police car. She's in the back. And she sees something happen to the other passenger of the police car.
Yeah.
And then basically on the opposite side, well, further down the road, there's a normal police car. Because she's being captured by some mad person. I'm not gonna say in case you ain't seen it. Her and Michael Myers are in the car.
Yeah.
Michael Myers wakes up, deals with the person that kidnapped them.
Yeah.
She's there now. She's got the option to run across the road to an actual police car, or she can run into the woods.
Yeah. And what does she do?
Run into the woods. Why are you going to run into the woods when you can stay on the road, run to a police car that's 50 yards ahead of you and ask for help?
I know.
You run into the woods.
And just on that scene, right, Michael Myers, something happens to him, right, where someone picks him up and puts him into the car. I just thought to myself, how did he pick him up?
This guy is massive.
And the person who picked him up was about 70 years old. Was older than Michael Myers.
There's too many little silly things that happen in this film, man.
And that just shows you when you are thinking about those things, you're not having a good time whilst watching the movie.
Exactly.
Like I was coming out with holes and I was like, but that don't work. And how's this going on? And what about this? And what about that? Okay, fine. And but all right, here's one thing that I do want to kind of mention. There is one character in this movie.
One great character. Great character.
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's any endorsement is watch the film for this young guy. He's probably like about 10 years old.
Something like that. But before that, actually, it's a bit of trivia.
Yeah, go on.
The film came out on October the 19th, which is the birthday of Michael Myers in the film. That's why it came out now rather than in actual October.
31st of October.
Yes. Bit of trivia there.
Okay.
But yeah, so this boy.
This boy, right? Okay. So he's only in it for like a kind of like maybe like about 10 minutes. Right,
best 10 minutes of the film.
He steals
best 10 minutes of the film.
He steals the limelight from everyone. He's got the best lines.
Yep.
He's got the best jokes.
Yep.
He is so emotive.
Yep.
And you know what? I could have happily have just watched him.
Yep.
And he was the cleverest of everyone.
Yep.
He got out of Dodge.
Jabrail Nantambu.
Okay.
Jabrail Nantambu is his name.
Jabrail, we are going to give you a big shout out.
First
Trust
film.
me.
No, second film. But
is it second film? All right. We are going to give you a big shout out on the Flixters on our Instagram. Right. Seriously. He was funny, man. The
He was
one-liners
wicked. He was
I
quirky.
laughed.
He kept it real.
Yeah.
Throwing in a few F-bombs there for a little kid. He said, I saw someone in my room. He didn't go back into that room. He stayed out of that room, which is what a normal person should do. When shit started to happen, what did he do? He ran away from the shit.
Exactly.
And he literally, he didn't, this boy stayed alive. Why? Because he done what we all should do. If shit starts to happen, you run away from the shit. Don't run to it.
All right. So there's that going on. But okay, another point that I want to mention is the dialogue. Oh my God. Talk about clunky. Talk about dialogue, which is so ropey. There's a bit in the film, right, where Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode, she's having a conversation with the deputy, with this kind of like sheriff, the inept sheriff who can't shoot straight, right, when it matters. And apparently he was in the first...
first one.
In the first one as well. So Laurie says to him, hey, I've been waiting 40 years for this moment. I've been praying to God that, Michael Myers gets released and so I can kill him. And you know what his reaction was?
That's a dumb thing to pray for. I remember.
He goes, that's a dumb thing to pray for.
And he walked off.
And it's just silence. And I looked up and there were so many groans in the audience. And I was like, what? We just heard this dialogue. Yeah. Oh my God. So... exactly like what you said. So, all right, fine, I get it. You are creating this world, this Michael Myers world, and you want to make sure that Michael Myers lives into the next 40 years. But give us something that we can fucking root for. Give us something new. And unfortunately, I just felt like as if there wasn't anything new. Now, having said all that, this film has done amazingly well in America. It's projected to take this weekend 75 million domestic. It's basically doing under. It's projected. It's just do under Venom.
That's crazy. That's because of the legacy.
Yes.
Once they see the film, I think they're going to cuss it.
Word of mouth.
But because it's Halloween, Americans love Halloween.
Yes.
It's got the legacy. It's got the trailer. It all looks good.
Yeah.
But is it good? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think it will. It won't have the longevity and the kudos that real horror films have.
Yeah.
It'll come and go.
Right. Okay.
But then if it does take a lot of money though, hello, sequel.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was interesting to see kind of John Carpenter. He was the director of the original. He's executive produced this. We still got his music. Yeah. The music is still fantastic. I got to say that music is really brilliant.
Yeah. It's like a remixed version of it, isn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of like a bit higher tech type of thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing for you. I think it's actually a really, really great story in the sense that a masked madman is walking around on Halloween night killing people. I mean, that's pretty scary, right?
Because you'll think as a normal person. Because there was a bit where he was holding a knife, and some sort of couple were dressed as doctor and nurse, and she saw him and just carried on doing what she was doing.
Because she probably thought, this is just part of his mask.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of bits in there where where he just goes into a house and he just deals with people. And there was one bit, right, I thought, let them do this. If they do this is going to be dark. Yeah,
I know. But then even the kid in the car, he dealt with that kid.
You're absolutely right.
I thought the kid would survive, but he dealt with the kid.
Yeah, he did. He did that. He just twisted that like it was a twig.
But the baby would have been a bit he saw the baby, so that's his line. His borderline is that
he won't do babies.
Yeah, that's it. That's his borderline. If it's in nappies, then so if you see Michael Myers, guys, put on a nappy and go goo goo gaga, and he'll walk past you. A bit like how the walkers are in Walking Dead. If you look like a walker, they walk past you.
That's
so
it.
Baby.
But in terms of kind of like the ending, so there's this big, long drawn out thing where they're in a cabin, in Laurie Strode's cabin, and she's got the whole place rigged up.
Yeah.
And okay, here's another kind of plot hole. And I just got to say this, right? So she's built these traps in a house, right? So she has to go up and she's got to find Michael Myers within the house. And I'm thinking, flipping out, how big is this house? It's just a flipping cabin. Bloody hell. Yeah. And she goes into one room and then she's got this little contraption where she can press the button and these things come down.
The bars.
And I thought to myself, why didn't you just do that in all the rooms? And trap him in one of the rooms?
Yeah.
No, why are you waiting around and doing this and doing that? And I'm like, okay, fine. But hey, look, we're pulling hole. We're digging holes for this film, right?
More holes in a sieve.
Exactly. But anyway, I mean, it is what it is. It's a Halloween movie. It's Michael Myers, the return of Michael Myers.
I missed the spoiler. Well, we've already spoiled it,
We've
guys.
spoiled the film.
What happened at the end of the credits? Because I walked out. I didn't even think.
Okay, so this is the one thing that I do now. I always go online and I always check
after
to see
credits
after credits.
Okay, yeah.
And so basically, so there is a thing. There isn't an end credit scene, but there is something where all the credits roll and you hear a noise at the end of the credits.
Okay.
And what do you think that noise is?
It's him like getting up or something.
Breathing.
Because I knew that would happen because when he was in the whole sort of fire thing, we didn't actually see him. They didn't wait around and obviously they couldn't because the house was on fire, but you didn't see him die.
Yeah.
If you don't see him die, someone like him is going to come back.
He's going to come back.
Because obviously he's, just immortal or whatever.
Yeah. So at the end, you kind of hear him breathing.
Yeah.
So they can set this up for another Halloween if they want to.
They are.
And it's taken shitloads of money.
They will.
So basically, it's not the end of Michael Myers.
No.
All right. So that was Halloween, and
I think I'll give it a 4
how many
and a half,
slashes?
4.5.
How many knife slashes for?
I'll give it 4.5.
I think I might go for like even a 3.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's the lowest score ever on the Flixters.
Seriously.
Ooh.
The only thing that kind of saved it was Jibrail.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope I see him in another film, man. This kid was brilliant.
He's 2.5 stars worth, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. All right, okay. The next film that we want to speak about is Bad Times at the El Royale.
Mm-hmm.
What a title!
The Royal, in other words, yeah.
Yeah, the El Royale. Okay, so how do we speak about this? So this is directed by Drew Goddard, who you'll know from
Agents of Shield. No, from something Marvel, isn't it?
Yes.
Drew Goddard. Shit. Oh no,
Close.
Avengers. Co-wrote Avengers. No. Oh shit. Drew Goddard.
Think of a person with a big mouth.
Oh damn. Winter Soldier.
No. His whole. Think of the Fourth Wall.
What's it called? Deadpool. Is it?
Deadpool 2.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
Okay, going back, think of his connection with Joss Whedon and Marvel as well.
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yes, okay, I know that one. Yeah.
All right, so Drew Goddard, director of Cabin in the Woods, Deadpool 2 most recently. So you know what, he knows how to make these kind of like interesting big films.
That's why Thor's in it, because they work together on that as well.
In Cabin in the Woods. All right, so Bad Times at the El Royale is about the El Royale, which is a hotel, and it's a bi-state hotel. I
saw that. Yeah, there's a line. It's like
there's a line that goes through the hotel. So one side is California, one side is Nevada.
Okay,
and back in its heyday, the El Royale was kind of like probably at the pinnacle. Like, you probably had like loads of parties, lots of shit going down over there. Like, probably mafia were probably there, drugs probably going on in there, rock and roll, women with like, with, dancers and stuff.
Yeah.
You could just imagine it was probably one of those places. But now at the kind of like, I think it's set at the end of the 60s. It's basically kind of run down.
Okay.
No one goes there, and it's dead. It's quiet. So I think it's heydays. They've all kind of gone. But on this particular day, you've got a motley crew of people coming into the hotel to check in. So you've got a priest. You've got a singer. You've got a femme fatale. You've got a traveling salesman, and then you've got the person who works behind the desk, like reception and stuff like that. So you're introduced to all these different characters, and what happens is
I don't know why I'm laughing already.
Why?
You're going to say something that's going to be mad.
Seriously, no. But it's something. There's something about this place which isn't quite right, and there's something about the person in the behind the reception that isn't quite right.
Okay.
He's carrying a lot of baggage, and
with the porter,
the porter guy. Yeah,
that's what they do, isn't it? No, that's why I said porter, because he said baggage. Isn't it? I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say.
Classic. So literally, he's got physically and probably emotionally, he's carrying a lot of shit behind him, and you've got kind of. But whilst I was watching this movie, I was like, you know what? This feels like a Tarantino esque
Oh,
film.
okay.
So this is Tarantino, and the dialogue is very wordy.
Okay.
So
A
not
lot of monologues and stuff. Is
yeah.
it?
So there's a lot of conversations between the one or two different characters, and people might think, oh God, this is just a bit too wordy. But you know what? Like, I was hooked onto this movie. The performance from Jeff Bridges, and I think her name is
What, the one from 50 Shades? She's in it.
Dakota Johnson. No,
yeah.
have you got the list there?
I can find it. The black girl.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but
You
she's
know
good.
what? I think that was her debut film.
Is it? Wow.
She is a star in the making, man. She was one of the best things. She was the best thing in that film.
She kind of reminded me of Jennifer Hudson a little
Yeah,
bit. but-
yeah, totally. And so
Cynthia Erivo.
Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah, Cynthia Erivo.
Oh man,
Darlene Sweet.
that's it. So she plays Darlene, right? And then you've got Jeff Bridges' character who plays the priest, and obviously John Hamm. He plays the traveling salesman, and Dakota Johnson, which we've mentioned, she was in 50 Shades of Grey and all that sort of stuff. So they're all check into this hotel. They've all got these different backstories. And I thought to myself, oh my God, so that person is a traveling salesman. But you know what? There's something clearly like, dodgy about him. Maybe he's something else. The priest is not who he says that he is. And Cynthia, she is a singer. But for me, it feels like as if there's something behind her backstory as well.
Okay.
So as the film progresses, we learn the backstories behind these different people about why they've come to this hotel. And Jeff Bridges needs to be there for a reason. John Hamm needs to be there for like a really important reason. And Dakota Fanning's in there for her little reason. So you find out exactly what's going on. So the porter that I mentioned at the start,
Yeah.
he confides into the priest. All right, he confides into Jeff Bridges' character. He says, "Hey, look, Father, this hotel isn't what you think that it is, and I need you to kind of basically help me out." And it turns out that this hotel's got a lot of like kind of secrets. So they've got places where you can go and where you can view people doing their shit in the room.
Oh. All kinds of shit.
All kinds of shit. So you can imagine back in the day, people probably filmed this sort of stuff and maybe used it as kind of, if you wanted to bribe someone.
Okay.
So you can see kind of like, this stuff is going on over there. And what I liked about this movie was the fact that I believed in the characters. So Jeff Bridges' character is talking to Cynthia, and he's got kind of like a health issue, and she's a singer and she's kind of broke, and she's having a tough time. And you know what, right? I just thought to myself, oh my God, I totally believe these people. I totally believe exactly what they're going through. And the film takes a nasty turn in the sense that we see one of the characters being killed.
Oh.
And
Don't say who.
I'm not saying who. One of the characters gets killed, and then it turns into kind of like, a story about survival. And then it turns into a story about, right, okay, there's money involved. There's money stashed away somewhere in the hotel. Someone has got to get this money. And also, there's this whole Marilyn Manson-esque vibe to it as well, which is Chris Hemsworth, where his backstory comes into the movie, where he's kind of like he's like a leader of a cult.
Oh.
And
that's why he's all dancey like that. With his shirt out.
With his shirt out.
That looks weird.
I know, man. Trust me, his role, his part is like it's like anything that you haven't seen before, because he basically plays the villain.
Okay.
So he plays the bad person, but it's so layered, his role.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, man, this film has taken me on this journey from starting off over here.
I want to see it.
To over here. Bro, man, I tell you what, it is a great film.
I want to see it.
It's a great film, and that's why I was surprised to see it at number 8 on
Sometimes
the
the
UK's
good
top
films
10.
don't do so well. Maybe the competition is too fierce right now.
It's a lot of sniffy reviews out there. They're saying, oh my God, like this is like derivative of like a Tarantino film. But you know what? I think you need to give it the light of day. You need to give it the light of day because the acting is so good, and she is phenomenal.
Cynthia. I just found out she's what's her accent like in the film?
Don't say to me she's British.
She's British. She's a British theatre singer.
You are effing...
She's mostly a singer in theatre. She won the Tony Award for The Colour Purple.
F you.
Okay. Honestly, she's a British theatre singer, actress.
Her voice is gonna blow you away, man. She sings in this film not once, not twice, and you're thinking, what she sings in the film? Tell you, it's
she's a theatre singer. That's why she's so good. Maybe okay. Oh, well, she's British though.
We are gonna shout out to her.
Yeah, Cynthia Erivo.
Tell you what, man. If she's homegrown talent, we got to support that, man.
She's also coming up in Widows, which stars. It's coming out in November. Liam Neeson and Amanda Waller. Viola Davis. So she's gonna be in that as well.
Okay, she's brilliant.
So she's up and coming. Definitely. She's like 5'1.5".
Yeah,
she's really small.
Yeah. There's a bit.
Wow, 5'1.5".
Yeah. I
definitely would miss her if I hugged her. I definitely would miss her if I hugged her.
I'm laughing so much, man.
I would miss her. Totally.
God, totally, you would.
Okay, but I want to watch it now for her performance and for the wackiness of the film. I do want to watch it. The wackiness of the
film, and like I said before, a lot of people they're cussing it. They're like, oh man, it's like all over the place.
That's nothing for me. I know it's going to be a good film.
There's a lot of kind of flashbacks and fast forwards and all this sort of stuff because they need to tell the backstory behind all these people.
Okay.
But give it a chance. My only criticism of the film is it's probably about 10 or 15 minutes too long.
Okay.
But hey, that's nothing. That is nothing. That's nothing. Like, let me make a film and then let people bloody complain about it and let's see what happens. Right. Okay. So that was Bad Times at the El Royale. Go out and check it. Watch it.
What star hotel would you give it?
I'm giving this a good 4.
Oh, 4 out of 5 stars.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give it a good 4.
Okay, cool. Okay, nice. Okay, so next we've got Await Further Instructions.
And this title.
I know. It's a mad film.
Yeah.
I saw it last week actually.
Right.
But this film, so it's like a horror sci-fi type film, and so the premise is that a guy, mid-20s maybe, he's a white guy, and he brings his Asian girlfriend home for Christmas like dinner.
Eye-raising.
And so Walder Frey is in it as well. He's the granddad of the family. He's quite old school, doesn't like all this mixing and stuff like that. So
bastard.
Yeah, he's one of those sort of ones, a bit like East is East, a bit like that character.
Yeah.
And the family got friction. So the family aren't on best terms anyway, so they don't always talk to each other, and there's a bit of funniness in the family. So Christmas is going to be a bit of a tense session anyway, and he's bringing this new girl home as well. So that's the sort of premise of that. So so they all come sit down for Christmas lunch, and they're talking and small talk and whatever, and then they start talking about the new girl, the Asian girl, and there's a bit of friction in that, and they say, "Oh, coming over here, taking our jobs," and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, "What job? What job are you going for?" "I was going for this job." "Well, I'm not going for that job, so I didn't take your job." And it's like she gives as much as she gets, which is good. And then the boy's trying to defend her, the mum's trying to defend, the dad's like there's lots of friction. So that whether alone it's a sci-fi or horror, it's got weight behind it.
Good, yeah. And
there's all sort of up and coming actors. Apart from Walder Frey, I can't recognise anyone.
No.
So then I think what happens? There's a bit of an argument that happens, and then the boy and his girl are gonna leave because they had an argument. He's not happy being there.
Sure.
And then something happens, and they can't leave because there's some sort of weird barrier outside the door, so they can't get out.
So what, the parents, the family have kept them in?
No, the family, everyone's trapped in.
Oh.
There's a weird barrier outside the door, so they can't get out. And on the TV, all it says is
await
further instructions.
Oh shit!
So no one knows what's going on. Everyone's like, "What's this? No one knows what's going on." They just have to await further instructions, and they're all trapped in the house. They can't get out. They're hitting it with a hammer. It's a funny barrier, like a black. It's like a black sort of glistening type of substance, but it's mad.
Yeah.
So bit by bit, they get different instructions on the telly. Different instructions. One of the instructions is that there's been a outbreak stay in your house, we're dealing with it. So then they think it's the government trying to protect them, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then they get these syringes. How the syringes, I think that like an opening happens in the barrier and a package falls through.
Right.
And it's syringes. And the TV says, take this antidote. It's the only thing that will save you when you leave. So it's like, there's 6 syringes, there's 6 people, and the boy and his girlfriend is a doctor. They're like, don't take it. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
And the dad's like, no, we should take the syringes. We should take the antidote. The government has said we should take it. We will take it. And it's like, it's just causing friction between them.
Yeah.
So some of them take it, some of them don't. And then it's just everything's friction basically.
Wow.
And then, there's so many other things that happen, different instructions that happen that people don't trust or they trust, and it causes more sort of arguments between them. And this one I'm not going to spoil because I think it should be seen.
Yeah.
But bit by bit, things happen in this film that cause people to either physically or mentally get out of shape. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, what, zombie?
No zombies. No. I'm just saying get out of shape as in like things go tits up.
Yeah, right. I love
things
that.
go tits up.
Yeah.
Bad things happen.
Yeah.
Either mentally or physically.
Damn.
Yeah.
And is that related to the syringes?
I don't think so, It's just other things. So then again, that one thing happens that I'm not sure if it's to do with the syringes. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But people just start turning mad.
Wow.
Things start to happen. They're all in this house. They can't get out.
Yeah.
And it's mad. One by one, it's just a madness.
Okay.
And you don't know who to trust. You don't know why this person's doing it. Can you lock them away? And it's mad.
Oh,
and
shit.
Bit by bit, there's different messages on the screen that will either like give them guidance or give them instructions that they don't trust, that they don't do, and some people say you should do. It's just mad. The instructions on the TV make the film.
Okay.
'Cause bit by bit, it's almost like, you know how Saw gives you instructions?
Yeah.
Play by the rules. Follow the rules if you want to survive, kind of thing. It's like this TV is a bit like that. It's just telling them things that they have to do.
Yeah.
Some of the things they got to do, you don't really want to be doing.
Yeah. Okay. And what would you say then is the commentary behind the film? Like, because it sounds like as if it starts off as this, this social kind of commentary about immigration and, should we be listening to outside people, and there's kind of like an external force coming in and doing stuff that telling us to do things that we don't want to do. That could be the government, all this sort of stuff.
It's exactly that. It's a bit of everything. It's a bit of, I mean, here in the UK at the moment, for the past 2 years, we've had the whole Brexit situation. From the moment Brexit was brought up, a lot of people, blamed immigration for the way the country is. And there's a lot more sort of hate crime to do with people from people that don't descend from the UK. This has got a bit of that. It's also got a bit of, we sort of covered it a bit, well, quite a lot actually, in They Live, about the whole government's message of should you always listen to the government?
Yeah.
Is it wise that you should listen to these organisations, and do we follow things blindly? And await further instructions. Literally, you're sitting there watching your TV, which I think is another key thing, because on your TV, a lot of people literally sit there and watch things, whether it's the news, whether it's TV shows, and these things literally influence their lives.
Yeah.
And await further instructions is a harsh account of that in a social sort of context, but in a horror sci-fi format.
Sure.
Because you could watch the news all day long and the news will tell you things that you would then go and act upon in a subtle way. But at the same time, every day you're awaiting further instructions via your TV.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not.
Subliminal, mate.
Exactly. So this film, it's down as one of our reviews, but it can also be a hidden gem.
Yeah.
At the same time, because not many people know about it, or it just came out recently.
Yeah.
It's a British film. It was filmed in Yorkshire. It's low budget film. It's a good, solid film.
I love the sound of it.
That you should watch. So yeah, I'll give it a good What instructions would I give it? I don't know. I'll give it a 7.5.
Oh, nice.
7.5. Yeah,
Good.
it does end a bit in a weird way.
Right.
I must say.
I was just going to say, like,
But-
do they? Is it concluded where there are survivors, or
Yes. Okay. I know.
okay?
A bit of both, but it's a bit of a weird ending. I'll say that.
All right.
But it's still worth a watch. Yeah. Still worth a watch.
That sounds intriguing. I really, really want to watch that one. And just the
Yeah.
title just makes
Yeah.
me think, wow, wait
I've got
for the
a
instructions.
funny feeling as well. When we post this on our thing, I reckon one of the actors might reach out to us. I've got a funny feeling. I think we should await further instructions on that one.
I hope so. And let's
Yeah.
do it. We are going to do
do
it.
it. Yep, we should do
we
it.
got a shout out. Sorry, we got Cynthia, Jibrail,
Yep.
and
yep,
these guys.
Yep. Definitely.
Defo. All right, okay. Now let's move on to hidden gems.
Yep.
So this is the section where we bring you films which we think you should be watching. They've gone under the radar and they've been cultivated by Deval's garden.
Yep.
And now you've spoken about this film
I have,
a few
and
times, and I've seen the first part of this. Tell us about the second part.
Are you seen Pitch Black, you mean?
Pitch Black.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So the Chronicles of Riddick came out in 2004.
Yeah,
It's
a while now.
It's a direct, 14 years.
Yeah.
Blimey Nick. It's a direct sequel to Pitch Black. Vin Diesel's in it as Riddick. And there's also the Muslim guy, the black guy who was in Pitch Black. He's Keith David, actually.
Keith David, yeah.
He's in, he keeps showing up.
Wow.
He's in Chronicles of Riddick as well. And who else is in it? Yeah, the girl.
Tandy Newton's in it.
Thandie Newton, but she's not in part one.
Oh, right,
But
okay.
in part two, the girl that is sort of hiding as a boy. I remember in Pitch Black, there's a boy that's got a shaven head, or
Right,
that's a girl member.
Oh,
So
yeah,
so
yeah.
she was hiding as a boy, just to sort of get through without anyone troubling her or anything like that. But she's also in part two.
And
But
then he
as-
sees her taking a piss or something. I can't remember.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Where she plays a different actress,
Yeah.
or a different person plays her. But yeah, so basically, Chronicles of Riddick is 4 years after that. So he's like an outlaw. He's like a Wolverine in space, basically. Yeah, he's like a Toretto in space. So he is out there trying to survive, basically doing his thing, and he's Furion. Furions are the people that are like Wolverines in space. I keep saying that, but they mean business. If you say, if you're in a bar and you ask for a drink and they say, "Oh, they're closed," and someone says, "He's Furion," the music will stop. You'll get your drink, and people will clear your way because they know Furions are not to be messed with.
Right, yeah.
So he's Furion. So Chronicles of Riddick, he's basically, he's on this planet, and there's a race called the Necromongers, which Thandie Newton and Carl Urban are part of.
Right.
Necromongers are like, what are they like? They're pretty much kind of like mini Galactuses. When I say that,
bloody
they're a
hell.
race of people that are like, I don't know, they're a bit like space Nazis, you know?
To divide
A
and
little bit.
conquer,
Yeah,
right.
they go from planet to planet, conquering the planets, taking the citizens and being the citizens' new rulers.
Right.
And after a while, they take the planet's resources and stuff. And
Yeah.
the supreme leader of the Necromongers has a sort of power that the supreme leader only can have.
Right.
He's got this power a bit like Ghost from Ant-Man and Wasp,
Okay.
where he can phase in and out of, not reality, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's weird to explain, but he's got more strength. I wouldn't say superhuman strength, but he's a bit more stronger than the average bear.
Right.
He's got some quick reflexes, and he kind of can shift in between phases. It's
Yeah.
weird.
And that's Tandy Newton.
No, that's the supreme leader. Thandie
Right.
Newton is the sort of girlfriend, or I don't know what she is, to Carl Urban. Carl
Okay.
Urban's like a general.
Right.
Thandie Newton is like almost like a senator of some sort. She's got some sort of status, but I'm not sure exactly what she is. But so basically, they come to this planet and they take over the planet. Vin Diesel's on this planet. He has to escape from them and help Keith David's character to save his family, which he does. Somehow, Vin Diesel basically gets captured by these people. He then escapes. There's a few like I don't know, little quest that he goes on. He goes to this planet that's basically tidally locked by the sun.
Right.
Where the sun is like, not tidally locked, sorry, it's so close to the sun. It's called, what's it called again? Crematorium, I think it's called.
Wow.
And this planet is mad hot, but it's a prison planet.
And what was the thing with
He
his
can see
eyes
the
again?
dark.
He can see in the dark.
This planet's not even to do with that, but basically this planet, he goes there, he finds the girl that's in part one in that sort of prison. This film, it's like Fast and Furious in space.
Wow.
He's not to be messed with. He's got these knives. He fights people. These soldiers are looking for him because they know he's like he's a badass.
Right.
You got these bounty hunters on the case for him because he's a criminal. He's escaped like 4 or 5 prisons, so these bounty hunters are looking out for him. There's a bounty on his head, so there's always people on the search for him. But he's always trying to do good, and he's always trying to sort of help people out in a kind of anti-hero kind of way.
Yeah.
But he basically comes up against these necromongers. The supreme leader and other necromongers, they kind of fear the Furians because they know that they're a race not to be messed with.
Right.
So basically, he. Without I'm not going to spoil it, but he clashes with the necromongers and
he kicks their ass. Basically,
it's a good clash.
Wicked.
Yeah, and the way it ends, it is wicked.
And does that then set it up for part 3,
which is Riddick?
Which
which
and is Riddick
a continuation of that one?
That one straight away.
I think this one's a better one.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's a better one. But I think it's a good film. It's one of those films that come on TV and I do
and
actually watch it.
Yeah,
it's a good film.
Wicked.
Carl Urban's good in it. Carl Urban pretty much looks like he was in Ragnarok. Same sort of gear, same sort of gun. Well, not same sort of gun, but it's good. And Fanny Newton is good in it as well.
Yeah.
She's also got Dame Judi Dench. She's in it. She's in it as well. Yeah, she plays elemental. She's an elemental. She can float. She's kind of like a ghost.
Right.
So she can float around. It's weird.
Wow,
it's
they roped her into this film.
Yeah,
wow.
she's in it. She's good. She's kind of like Vin Diesel's. She kind of helps him out with giving him advice, a bit like Dungeon Master. Turns up behind a rock. You shall go to this planet and you shall find the orb of Salashar, kind of thing,
and what happened to Dungeons and Dragons, man?
Oh man, don't even talk about that one, man.
Seriously.
But no, good film. Chronicles of Riddick, worth a watch.
Definitely.
Hidden gem for sure.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that one. Tell us about this next one.
Pontypool.
Yeah.
Pontypool. Okay, so this is a weird film. It's I saw it a while ago. It's a weird one, but it's a real good film. Good film. So Pontypool is a place is it America or Canada? One of them, or maybe it's near America. Maybe it's on the cusp.
Okay,
somewhere around there. One of those kind of like them funny cold states,
right?
A bit like how Fargo is, one of them kind of funny states.
Yeah.
And there's a radio station that this person works in, and he's hearing that outside of the studio, there's a madness going on. People are killing each other. It's a madness.
I love it. that phrase of yours. It's a madness.
It's a madness.
It's like as if something in the air or something.
Yeah, literally, something's in the air. And so he realizes that there's a transmission, a frequency that's being broadcast, not through him, but there's a broadcast that's turning people crazy. Yeah, it's a madness.
Almost like they live.
A bit like that, yeah. So he realizes that's happening, and he's within his radio sort of station environment, trying to avoid this signal hitting him, and also trying to warn people out there what's going on. So you're seeing pockets of other situations happening of people trying to fight. It's almost like they're turning into like frenzied zombies, or they're just trying to kill each other.
Yeah,
it's almost like the world going against itself.
Yeah.
But it's a weird film. It's quite isolated as well.
Yeah.
But it's quite an interesting film. And
Sounds
also the fact
interesting.
that the frequency is something that, because you can't escape it. I mean, it's hard to escape unless you put on headphones and put something else in your ear so you don't hear it. Maybe if you can't hear, maybe you survive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's one of those weird ones. But it's an interesting film.
The premise sounds really good.
Yeah, it's a weird one, but it's worth a watch.
Okay, cool.
And then last one, Maniac. Maniac is actually a remake of a film of the same name that came out in 1980. So this Maniac in 2012 stars our own Frodo Baggins, Elijah Wood, who was also in Faculty, who's also in Sin City.
Yeah.
So he can be a bit weird.
He can.
I saw him in Sin City.
Yep.
But Elijah Wood is a very reclusive, very weird kind of character who owns a mannequin shop in America. And he befriends is she an model, an art student or model? One of them. She comes in looking for mannequins because it's part of her like exhibition display. She needs mannequins, so they befriend each other and stuff like that. He's a bit awkward though, and she can realise he's awkward, but obviously she needs help to do her thing. And he's got his mannequin city. He's got mannequins. It used to be his mum's shop, I believe, and he.
Don't tell me he killed his mum.
Do you know what? I think he might have. I can't remember. I think he might have, but he's got the shop. He's just a weird cat. He's one of them cats that just like conversations are just like weird. But basically he's got these mad like psychopathic killer instincts inside him. He can't interact with people. Like literally sometimes he'll almost kill someone by mistake because it just turned out that way.
Right.
I think there's a scene where he goes on a date with someone or something and he ends up killing her somehow.
So
what is
it, like a comedy horror type of thing?
It's a weird horror film.
Yeah.
A lot of what happens in this film, I think even, is it just the murders or most of the film? I think it's mostly the murders. It's point of view, like first person.
Oh.
So you're seeing it through his eyes.
Right,
as he's killing these people, as he's stalking them. It's a different way of, visualizing it.
Sure.
But it's very interesting.
Okay.
And it's interesting to see a character like Frodo
Yeah.
as a serial killer.
And
literally.
And this kind of is interesting because I remember after the whole Lord of the Rings, there was this thing like, right, what is the next film that he's going to do? And he did like Green Street.
Yeah.
He's done kind of, it's like other like
a few
different
bits and bobs,
like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He's done all these things because he doesn't want to be associated with that thing.
Well, this one will definitely disassociate him because he's a maniac and he's bad people. He's bad. He's bad people. I'm telling you. He's bad people. I'm telling you. So it's mad. It's quite graphic as well. Some of the killings. Yeah, he strangles and he cuts people. He actually, his thing is, and it derives from the 1980 version. It's because it's a remake.
Yeah,
and he's got a thing about scalping people.
Oh my gosh!
And then he incorporates that into his mannequins. So he literally cuts their scalps off.
So the student who comes to see him, does she get scalped or does he love her too much to?
You're gonna have to watch it and find out. But yeah, you can imagine that
she becomes the mannequin.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Oh, you know what? That's another great selection of films there.
So yeah, that's we've come to the end of our show.
We've come to the end of the show.
Gordon Bennett.
We've done a lot.
How long was that today? Oh, look, wow, we got over 2 hours today. Gordon Bennett. So look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for downloading the show. Thank you for listening to us. Keep supporting us. Give us your shout outs. Check us out on Insta, on Twitter. And I'm also going to start putting on our what's it called again? Podcast.
Yeah.
We're also going to put this on our YouTube.
Yes.
And just have it on there. So, you can, some people like YouTube. Some people like to use it as a form of expression.
Yes.
And we will supply that expression. So we're going to put it on there. Yes. And as always, as Amar said, let us know what you want. Let us know how you want it. Let us know anything along with the number 22 with your post, and you must be a subscriber, and we will send you a video. We'll send you a a cinema.
What type of video develop?
Maybe I'll send you a video actually. Depends what you like. We'll send you a code so you can watch a free film of your choice within the UK. Within the UK, any Cineworld and View Cinema. Small print. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you very much, and peace out.